Chapter 1259. A large number of sacred herbs were planted in a medicinal garden that was 5 acres in size. This place was protected by a large formation, and it was also a divine-level formation. It was not easy to enter the formation to pick the herbs. Over the past 10,000 years, many alchemists had come here, but they were unable to pick all the herbs in this herb garden. It was not that they could not find them, but that they could not deal with the earth dragon. Even if they could deal with the earth dragon, they could not break this divine-level formation. In the end, this herb garden was preserved. After Yang Wu approached this herb garden, he waved his fist and smashed it on the formation. Bang! The formation activated on its own, protecting the herb garden within. It blocked the power of his fist and rebounded his power back. Yang Wu was not discouraged. He attacked again, punching the formation one after another. Waves of shocking explosions sounded one after another. Rin Xiaofeng, Nangong Shiqin, Jin Yuchen, and the others watched Yang Wu smash the divine-level formation with brute force. It was an eye-opener. Rin Xiaofeng took the initiative to step forward and said, "My lord, you can try my formation break." After saying that, a vertebral weapon appeared in his hand. It was the formation break that was used to break formations. It was very useful for breaking formations. Yang Wu shook his head lightly and said, "No need. I can break this formation with 5 more punches." As he spoke, he threw 3 more punches. Every punch was like a black tortoise breaking out of the water. It was also like a true dragon roaring. Its power was astonishing. The divine-level formation guarding the herb garden finally showed signs of cracking, which shocked everyone. Yang Wu really broke this divine-level formation with his fists. Just as Yang Wu was about to completely destroy this protector, the earth dragon popped its head out and said, "Enough, stop fighting. Do you think I'll stop just because you say so?" Yang Wu replied and threw out 2 more punches, shattering the God-tier array formation. The reason why Yang Wu was able to shatter this God-tier array was not only because he was strong enough, but also because he could see the weak points of the array. After countless years, the power of the array was not very stable. He could use his soul eye to see how to break the array easily. If he couldn't find the weak spot, even if he punched a few hundred or even a few thousand times, he might not be able to break this divine array. The earth dragon looked at the destroyed herb garden and let out a strange cry. Once again, it dived into the ground. Soon, it appeared in the herb garden and opened its mouth to devour the herbs. "Earth dragon, do you really want to die?" Yang Wu let out a roar as the dragon energy in his body burst out. It was as if a true dragon had appeared before the earth dragon. Yang Wu had the sacred dragon physique, which was comparable to a dragon's physique. With the completion of the sacred physique, the dragon energy in his body became even denser. It crushed towards the earth dragon, causing the earth dragon to stagnate in fear. At the same time, the Big Dipper sword appeared in Yang Wu's hand. A rainbow sword aura pierced out and instantly opened a bloody hole on the earth dragon's body. The earth dragon howled in pain. Yang Wu didn't plan to give the Earth Dragon Mechanical Association any more. Since it didn't cherish its life, Yang Wu would send it to meet the King of Hell. Yang Wu took the opportunity to attack and slashed out a second time. The sword aura that could split the sky fell in front of the Earth Dragon in the blink of an eye. The Earth Dragon's body churned and countless soil condensed into mountains to block Yang Wu's sword. The sword aura broke through these mountains and continued to roll towards the earth dragon's body. It was so scared that it hid back into the ground. A dignified demon god was beaten to a pulp by a saint. It was really humiliating. Yang Wu's body grew bigger again. His body was 99 feet tall and looked down in all directions. The momentum of swallowing mountains and rivers was really amazing. "Swallow." Yang Wu spat out a word. Saint Chi floated and swallowed the 5 acres of herbal land. After he cultivated the great success Saint Physique, the Qinquan space in his body had formed an extremely huge space that could accommodate everything. He could fit these 5 acres of land. Rin Xiaofeng, Nangong Shiqin, Lu Jingtian, Jin Yuchen, Jin Yuhao, and Wu Simin were dumbfounded. "My lord is so handsome. If I could be his concubine, I'll be so happy." Nangong Shichin's beautiful eyes sparkled. She then looked at Wu Simin and raised her eyebrows. Minmin, don't you think so? Wu Simin's face flushed red as she said, I'm afraid that my lord doesn't like us because of our looks. Hey, Minmin, why do you have to tell me the truth? Can't you let me have a beautiful dream? Nangong Shichin said with a pitiful look. When Yang Wu put away the 5 acres of herbal land, he shouted, Earth Dragon, what are you waiting for? The Earth Dragon appeared again. He turned into a middle-aged man and bowed to Yang Wu. Xiaolong greets master. Yang Wu pressed his palm on the Earth Dragon's head and said faintly, You may dispense with the formalities. I'll find a new herbal land for you in the future. You'll only die if you stay here. Yes, master, Xiaolong replied. It was hard for him not to submit. Yang Wu was too powerful. Moreover, the herbal land had been taken away, so he didn't need to guard it anymore. He wanted to see the outside world and see how exciting it was. He was convinced that Yang Wu had the ability to suppress him. Tell me about the situation here, Yang Wu said with satisfaction. Once a spirit demon chose to submit, it was rare for them to be disloyal. What do you want to know, master? Tell me everything you know. Xiaolong told him everything that he knew. The Medicine God Temple had existed for tens of thousands of years. Even he didn't know. He had been isolated from the world since he was born. His mother had died of old age, and he had grown up alone. He had worked with the fierce beasts and spirit demons here and gradually cultivated to his current strength. Although he seemed very powerful, there were even more powerful existences on the 4th and 5th floor. He had once entered the 4th floor and encountered a terrifying creature that almost ate him. From then on, he didn't dare to enter the 4th floor and only wandered around the first 3 floors. Most of the time, he stayed in front of the herbal land. This underground area was his nest. From his bloodline memories, he knew that the Medicine God Temple had an ancient origin. Every one of them had ascended and were no longer in this world. They only left behind this land of inheritance, waiting for a fated person to obtain the inheritance and become the successor of the Medicine God Temple. This land of inheritance was only a testing ground. After passing the 5 inheritance towers and reaching their standards, they could officially become a disciple of the Medicine God Temple. After Yang Wu heard this, he was extremely shocked. This Medicine God Temple was indeed left behind by someone with intentions. It wasn't a land of inheritance. Their performance here had probably already fallen into the eyes of others. This is really a land of inheritance, but I wonder where it leads to? Yang Wu muttered. He didn't think too much about it and asked Xiaolong if there were any good places on the 3rd floor. He was prepared to harvest here. Xiaolong was indeed the local snake here. He told Yang Wu that there was a spirit spring in the east. There was an old turtle living under the spirit spring, but it slept all year round and didn't care about other people's business. In the south, there was a place where fierce beasts gathered. There were high-grade herbs everywhere. In the west, there was a volcano with high-grade fire seeds and sacred flame stones that could raise fire seeds. In the north, there was an alchemy altar where some of the brilliant disciples of the Medicine God Temple had left behind their alchemy skills. As they spoke, Xiaolong's injuries had already recovered. Yang Wu stood on Xiaolong's back and asked him to take him to the spirit spring in the east. In addition, Yang Wu asked Ren Xiaofeng, Nangong Shichin, Lu Jingtian, Jin Yuchen, and the rest to go to the south to train. There were a lot of herbs there, and how much they could obtain would depend on their own abilities. Xiaolong told them that there were some warrior stone tablets left there. There were some sacred skills and even comprehension stone tablets that could reach the heavens. The 6 of them headed south without hesitation. After Yang Wu obtained Xiaolong, he would definitely be like a fish in water here. It wouldn't be too late to go to the east first and then rush to the south to take a look. This space was very big, about 1/3 the size of a realm. It was hard to imagine that this was once the territory of a force, and now it was a land of inheritance. Which force in the transcendent world could have such magnanimity? Perhaps the heavenly palace in the past was just like this. Yang Wu stood on Xiaolong's back and arrived in front of a waterfall in a moment. This was a drop of star liquid that was hanging upside down. Specks of starlight flickered like the Milky Way, and the spiritual energy was extremely dense. Yang Wu almost drooled when he saw this drop of star liquid. "What a big deal!" Yang Wu exclaimed, as expected of a land of inheritance left behind by an ancient force. This drop of star liquid was enough to make many major forces in the transcendent world green with envy. Who would be able to show off this kind of sacred liquid outside? Old Tortoise, come out quickly. Little Dragon, I'm coming. Qiulong arrived in front of the star liquid and shouted. Qiulong had coveted this drop of star liquid for a long time. Unfortunately, he was not as strong as Old Tortoise. Otherwise, he would have occupied this blessed land long ago. Yang Wu became vigilant. The living being that lived in front of this drop of sacred liquid was definitely terrifying. It was probably even stronger than Qiulong. Little earthworm, take this young man and leave. This is not a place you can touch. An old voice faintly sounded. Yang Wu cupped his hands and said, Senior, this place is about to be destroyed. Why don't you leave with me? As long as the inheritance is not destroyed, this place will not be destroyed. The old voice replied again. Yang Wu felt that the other party's will was incomparably firm. He was afraid that he would not be able to persuade him. He could only say, Senior, can you give me some star liquid? If you can complete the 5 inheritance towers, you can take everything here. Otherwise, you won't be able to take a single drop. The old voice replied. Yang Wu made a prompt decision and said to Qiulong, Let's go to the south. We're leaving just like that? Qiulong did not expect Yang Wu to not provoke Old Tortoise. We can't beat it. We can only leave. Yang Wu replied. Yang Wu knew that even if he teamed up with Qiulong, they were definitely not Old Tortoise's match. He did not want to ask for trouble. How would we know if we don't fight? Then, have you fought with him before? I have, but before I could make a move, I was thrown back into the herb garden. My strength is still a bit weaker than his. If I teamed up with you, he would definitely lose. You're really lucky to be able to live until now. Chapter 1260. Medicine God Palace. This time, a total of 500,000 people entered. Such a number was not a small number. However, 2/3 of them stopped at the first 2 levels. More than half of them stayed on the first level for less than 10 days before being sent out of this space. Every level of the mountain range had a limit. Not many people could pass the test. It was easier said than done for those who wanted to cheat their way through. This place seemed to be under someone's control. The fire ant men were powerful and killed many people in an instant. Some people obtained delightful gains on the first level. Some ancient pill recipes were hard to come by. Some alchemy techniques were even more precious. On the second floor, some people had witnessed the Tao of alchemy and gained inspiration for refining more tribulation-grade medicinal pills. Additionally, they had also obtained some sacred grasses from the mountain range. They had even refined some soul power to improve their soul power and obtain some precious legacies. To them, it was already worth it to be able to obtain some gains. The inheritances here were very ancient and had shocking origins. They could help them go further. Those who could enter the 3rd level were all high-level alchemists or those extremely talented little saint alchemists. This level was the most rewarding for them. It was the level where they could learn alchemy. In addition, there were many sacred herbs in this level of the mountain range. There were also rare stones, which are the best materials to forge medicine cauldrons. There were even some fire seeds. If they obtained a few wisps, they could refine them into their own fire. The competition at this level was the fiercest and most dangerous. There were countless beasts and spirit demons here. They were all very powerful. The slightest carelessness could lead to death. Chao Jifei, Yao Miao Miao, Miao Miao, and Danzi had all entered this level. They were all looking for their own opportunities. Yang Wu did not accompany them. This was also a kind of training for them. He did not want to snatch their opportunities. When Yang Wu arrived at the southern mountain range, old trees were coiled around the peak of the mountain range. There were many strange flowers and herbs emitting a strong medicinal fragrance. He could even see 1 or 2 plants with Sciention warrior embryos. It was indeed an ancient mountain range. Yang Wu and the Earth Dragon barged in and were attacked by many ferocious beasts, but they were all devoured by the Earth Dragon. Yang Wu did not make a move to deal with these ferocious beasts. When he made a move, it was only to pluck the sacred herbs. There are treasures everywhere, but to those high and mighty medicine god palace, they are all weeds. Yang Wu sighed in his heart. After harvesting for a while, he saw a stone tablet in the depths. It was like a stone palm standing tall in the grass. A spirit demon that had taken human form sat cross-legged in front of the stone tablet to comprehend the heaven and earth. When Yang Wu and the Earth Dragon arrived, they were not affected at all. They seemed to be intoxicated in the world of enlightenment. Are they also cultivating? Yang Wu asked the Earth Dragon. Of course. This place has been isolated from the outside world for a very long time. What else can I do other than cultivate? Xiu Long replied. Then he said, a god once told us that as long as we comprehend the lost art here, we can open the heaven and earth and leave this space. Therefore, they had no choice but to cultivate. Although they did gain some benefits, they still could not leave this place. Yang Wu nodded and asked, have you comprehended here before? I have, but unfortunately I can't sense it. Xiu Long said honestly. Therefore, Yang Wu sat cross-legged on Xiu Long's head and looked at the stone tablet in front of him. He also wanted to figure out what was so special about this stone tablet. After a while, he gradually became intoxicated. He saw a shocking fire palm carrying the might of the heaven and earth slapping towards the sky, causing the sky to crack open. Such a terrifying palm was not inferior to Xin Yuan Badeo's self-created tyrannical divine palm. Yang Wu could only see this scene, but he could not learn its essence. To obtain its essence, not only did he have to observe it with his eyes, he also had to observe it with his heart. Yang Wu activated the soul tactics and hooked his soul. He focused on sensing the shocking inheritance in the stone tablet. Soon enough, Ouyangming deeply imprinted the palm strike in his mind. Suddenly, the stone tablet flickered and a ray of holy light shot towards Yang Wu's forehead. Yang Wu opened his eyes, raised his hand, and blasted out a palm. Tyrannical divine palm. Bang! The imprint of the will of the inheritance was shattered by Yang Wu's palm. Cracks also appeared on the stone tablet as the will of the inheritance was shattered. Soon, it shattered all over the ground. Many spirit demons who were sitting cross-legged here were awakened. They looked at Yang Wu with dissatisfaction, wanting to tear him apart alive. Xiu Long also clicked his tongue and said, Master, this is an imprint of the inheritance. You actually destroyed it? Yeah, it's not a big deal, Yang Wu said casually. This place was filled with strangeness. He did not want to be affected by any willpower. Even if the inheritance of the stone tablet was extraordinary, he did not need to accept it completely. He had already memorized the power of that palm and could use it as a reference to cultivate in the future. Despicable human, you destroyed our inheritance. You deserve to die. Eat him. We must eat him. Otherwise, we can't vent our anger. These spirit demons wanted to cultivate the ultimate skill and break through the sky. Now that the stone tablet was gone, how could they cultivate and leave? Are you rebelling? Xiu Long roared. Many spirit demons were still intimidated by him and did not dare to act rashly. Watch carefully. Yang Wu, on the other hand, formed a seal above his head, forming a frightening palm force, and lashed out at the sky. Bang! The sky shook from the power of his huge palm print, and cracks appeared in the space. The spirit demons were all stunned. They had comprehended the essence of the skill for many years, but could not learn it. This human young man did it not long after he arrived. Could it be that the stone tablet was only suitable for humans? Let's go. Yang Wu did not want to stay here and urged Xiu Long to leave. The inheritance of the stone tablet was indeed extraordinary. It was a quasi-god skill. However, it was impossible to use it to open up this space. The spirit demons were just lying to themselves. Yang Wu and Xiu Long went to a few more stone tablets. Each stone tablet was imprinted with a quasi-god skill. One of them was called Great Mercy Hand. It was the most powerful quasi-god skill, and Yang Wu had memorized it. He did not destroy those stone tablets. He left them for the others and the spirit demons to comprehend. He did not destroy the first stone tablet on purpose. He just did not know that the stone tablet would be destroyed if he broke the will of the inheritance. Yang Wu stayed for 7 days and collected many herbs. Then he rushed to the west. The west was connected to the south. A long fire dragon resided there. The shocking flames were very shocking. The fire dragon was hundreds of miles long and was divided into 7 sections. Each section was a different color. It was very magical. The 7 sections were formed by the mouth of each volcano. Each volcano contained a type of holy fire that was infinitely close to the godly fire level. The 7 holy fires had shocking origins. They were red flame, giant scorpion fire, 3 meteorite fire, colored glass fire, ghost fire, purple sun fire, and hellfire. The 7 holy fires formed a 7-colored fire dragon. Once they merged, it would be a shocking godly fire. Once, Miao Miao Chi came here and obtained 3 holy fire seeds. He merged them into his own unique fire seed. Yao Chenwang focused on the colored glass fire seed. He could create extremely pure pills. Rumor had it that Xiang Dingtian went to all 7 volcanoes and collected the 7 fire seeds. No one knew whether it was true or not. Yang Wu's chest became very hot. Blue Demonis wanted to devour the 7 fire seeds. Master, they seem to be merging. Blue Demonis rushed out and exclaimed. Yang Wu wiped away his surprise and said, "Then won't they become very powerful when they form a new fire seed?" Yang Wu recalled the scene of him obtaining the mysterious netherworld essence chi. That was in existence at the spirit transformation realm, and its combat strength was extremely high. Now that the 7 types of fire seeds in front of him had fused into a new fire seed, wouldn't it destroy this entire space? It will become a god-level fire spirit, and a high-level one at that. When the time comes, I will only be devoured by it, Lan Jiaji replied. Then what should we do? Is it too late to stop it now? It's too late. Their firepower is too strong. Once I get close, I will be devoured by them. Master, you might not be able to stop it. Looks like we have to give up. Maybe we can come back when Master is about to leave. It might not be able to merge smoothly. If I devour them while it's merging, I might become a godly fire. Right now, Blue Demonis could only be considered a quasi-godly fire. It had the power of a godly fire, but it wasn't a true godly fire. That's the only thing we can do. Yang Wu didn't dare to show off. The merging of 7 quasi-godly fires was an earth-shattering matter. He didn't have the ability to stop it. If other alchemists discovered the situation here, they might be able to live if they didn't try to take the fire seeds. If they tried to show off, only death would await them. Yang Wu thought to himself that he had to tell this news to Chao Jifei, Miao Miao, and the others. He couldn't let them do anything stupid. Yang Wu restrained his fire. He walked around the edge and obtained a few holy flame stones. Then, he and Xiu Long rushed to the pill discussion platform in the north. The pill discussion platform was where the disciples of the Medicine God Palace discussed alchemy. It was a wonderful place. Only by entering the pill discussion platform could one attain alchemy. This was the place that all alchemists who came in yearned for. Yang Wu arrived near the alchemy discourse stage, only to see a lonely Tao stage in front of him. The surroundings were overgrown with weeds and rocks, appearing extremely desolate. He really couldn't see anything special about it. Suddenly, a figure appeared on the pill discussion platform. He bowed to Yang Wu and said, "Deng Qi is very polite. Tao brother, please." Yang Wu walked down from Qiulong's head and stepped onto the pill discussion platform. He returned the greeting and said, "I am Yang Wu. Please, Tao brother, do you know how to identify medicines?" "Of course. How many types of medicines are there?" "There are 108,000 types with names. There are countless nameless ones." "Do medicines have spirit?" "Medicines have spirit. How do you use them?" "Using spirit as medicine. When it came to alchemy, you asked and I answered." Deng Qi asked 10 questions in a row. Yang Wu answered 10 questions in a row. Then, Yang Wu also asked 10 questions in a row. When it was Deng Qi's turn to answer 10 questions in a row, they interacted with each other. They were all discussing alchemy. After an unknown period of time, Deng Qi returned the greeting and disappeared. Another figure appeared and said, I am very polite. Dao brother, please. I am Yang Wu. Please. Chapter 1261. Alchemy Dao was a test of one's understanding of the Dao of pill refinement. Yang Wu had once discussed the Dao with the Hung Mountain sect's pill refinement genius Gu Qing. When he arrived at the Yang clan, he discussed the Dao of pill with Dan Long. Later on, he discussed the Dao of pill with the Dan clan's patriarch, Zui Lao, and other legendary figures. He also had the knowledge of pill refinement that Little He had imparted to him. Yang Wu discussed the Dao of pill with 18 Medicine God Hall disciples on the Dao of pill refinement. These 18 Medicine God Hall disciples were all outstanding geniuses and were not ordinary disciples. They all had their own strengths in the Dao of pill refinement. Some were good at identifying herbs, some were good at extracting herbs, some were good at controlling fire, and some were even able to use their souls to refine pills. Their pursuit of the Dao of pill was the pinnacle of perfection. Even Yang Wu lamented that he was not as good as them. Fortunately, Yang Wu was a top-tier saint alchemist that could refine the 5 tribulation pill. He had already condensed his own Dao of pill and was able to answer these disciples' questions. If he could not answer, he would not have the qualifications to discuss the Dao of pill with them, and this trip would end. When Yang Wu finished discussing the Dao of pill refinement with the 18 disciples, he suddenly disappeared from the Dao discussion stage. When he noticed this, he found that he had already arrived at an inheritance tower. Welcome to the 4th inheritance tower. You have the qualifications to become a Tier 4 inner disciple. A voice came from the inheritance tower. Then it said, please enter the 1st level of the test. I'm already at the 4th level. Yang Wu had a confused look on his face. He thought that he would need to barge his way to the 4th level. Who would have thought that he would be directly transported from the Dao discussion stage to the inheritance tower? Yang Wu understood the purpose of the Dao discussion stage. It was also a test. Once you passed the Dao discussion stage's test, you would have the qualifications to enter the 4th inheritance tower. Otherwise, you would have to force your way to the 4th level. The 3rd and 4th levels were filled with danger. Many people had tried to force their way in, but unfortunately, they had all fallen here. The only way to reach the 4th level without having to barge through the mountain range was to use the pill discussion stage. Yang Wu stepped onto the 1st level of the 4th inheritance tower. The second part of the soul mantra suddenly flowed into his forehead. This was the mantra for the Earth's soul stage. This floor was for the cultivation of the soul mantra. Once the requirements were met, one could proceed to the next floor. Yang Wu had an obvious advantage in soul force. Using the soul tactics to replace the soul control heart sutra, he easily met the requirements and entered the 2nd level. After reaching this level, he was required to refine a 2nd tribulation sacred pill. Yang Wu easily passed. The 3rd level used firepower to control a fire wheel array. This fire wheel array had 81 array cores, and each array core required different amounts of energy. Firepower had to be injected into the array core at the same time to activate the fire wheel array. Yang Wu wasn't in a hurry to try it out. Instead, he used his soul force to draw out the runes of the fire wheel array. He also estimated the amount of firepower required by each array eye. Only by doing so could he perfectly activate the fire wheel array. On the surface, this stage tests one's ability to control fire, but in reality, it also requires one to have a certain level of control over soul power before one can activate this fire wheel formation. Yang Wu muttered to himself. Blue Enchantress appeared in front of him, and he shouted, split. The holy fire split into 81 flame flowers. Each flower was different in size, and they were very bright and dazzling like lanterns. Go! Yang Wu shouted again and sent the 81 flame flowers into the array cores. At the same time, he formed a seal with both hands to activate the core of the array, activating the fire wheel array. Boom, boom. The fire wheel array was completely activated. When the fire wheel array was activated, Yang Wu was instantly stunned. He saw 81 flame dragons appear at the same time, and a medicine cauldron also appeared in front of him. The flame dragon's power burned the medicine cauldron at the same time, and the huge demon core in the medicine cauldron was instantly refined. This is a fire control array that can increase the speed of refining demon cores. Yang Wu exclaimed in surprise. Using arrays to refine pills was an ancient method that was extremely rare. Yang Wu had also been recorded in the alchemy knowledge that Little He had passed on to him. However, Little He was not a true top-notch alchemist. It only knew some ordinary alchemy methods and had a large number of pill recipes. It did not have the method of refining pills with fire arrays. The huge fire wheel array before him was actually an alchemy array. It was not used to refine medicinal herbs, but to refine demon cores. It could increase the speed of the melting of demon cores and fuse them with medicinal herbs at the fastest speed to form pills. Alchemy arrays were usually activated by many alchemists at the same time, and together, they could refine higher-grade pills. For example, if several little saint alchemists knew how to use alchemy arrays, they could also refine saint-grade pills. Similarly, if many saint alchemists cooperated well, they could also refine divine pills. The fire wheel array before him was such a miraculous array. It could be used by many alchemists to refine pills, and it could also be used by one alchemist to control the array to increase the speed of refining pills. When the fire wheel array disappeared, a power inheritance entered Yang Wu's glabella. Yang Wu did not reject any of the inheritances in the Tower of Inheritance. As expected, this was the construction inheritance of the fire wheel array, and there were also records of how to use the fire wheel array to refine pills. Yang Wu sat cross-legged for half a day before digesting the fire wheel array. It's not a problem for me to extract the essence of the herbs, but it's not easy to refine a divine-level demon core. With this fire wheel formation, it'll be much easier for me to refine a divine pill. Yang Wu said with incomparable satisfaction. He went up to the 4th level, which was to refine a 3rd tribulation divine pill. Yang Wu passed this level easily. The 5th level was to refine a 4th tribulation divine pill, which was an emperor-grade divine pill. Many alchemists who had stepped into this Tower of Inheritance were stuck at this level. Yang Wu integrated the previous inheritances and could already refine a 5th tribulation divine pill. His alchemy skills were much stronger than before he entered the Medicine God Palace. Before entering the Medicine God Palace, he could already refine a 4th tribulation divine pill. So this level was not too difficult for him. He used the simplified palm technique, the soul mantra, and the methods he had learned before to cultivate quietly. Not only did he want to refine a 4th tribulation divine pill, but he also hoped to refine a 5th tribulation divine pill. After he calmed his heart and carefully refined it, he indeed attracted 5 heavenly tribulations, and the 5th tribulation sacred pill was formed. Fortunately, he was inside the Tower of Inheritance and was isolated from the tribulation divine pill. Otherwise, it would have caused a huge commotion. In the transcendent world, other than Xiang Ding Tian, there was probably no one who could refine a 5th tribulation divine pill. Even if there would not be more than 5 of them. It could be said that Yang Wu was already at the peak of the transcendent world's alchemist saint. His ability was comparable to a divine alchemist. Perfect pass. You could stay on the 4th level for 3 months. The voice of the Tower of Inheritance sounded. The first 3 levels could only stay for 35 days at most, but the 4th level could actually stay for 3 months. The treatment was different. After Yang Wu obtained the token, he left the Tower of Inheritance and could not bring Ren Xiaofeng, Nangong Shiqin, and the others over. He was the only one on this level at the moment. There are many god-level creatures on this level. I have to be careful, Yang Wu thought to himself. There are many old trees growing in this mountain range. These old trees had all become spirits. They covered the sky and blocked out the sun, leaving only a shady world. Those tree roots grew on the ground, and they were like coiling dragons. They were very bold and strong. There were many strange flowers and herbs growing under the trees. There were flowers that grew like umbrellas, vines that grew like snakes, and plants that contained poison. There were many living beings in this place, and they had already formed a complete ecological chain. Among them, there were many god-level creatures. There were many divine herbs, divine flowers, and divine fruits growing in this ancient mountain range. After the living beings here devoured them, it would not be difficult for them to break through to the god level. Yang Wu slowly walked in this place. His goal was also the giant hall in the center. There were few people on the 4th level, and it was full of danger. Very few of the alchemists who came in the previous few times could set foot here, and there would not be many people who could enter the giant hall. There might be an unexpected opportunity there. Not long after, Yang Wu saw a field of herbs. There were at least small saints, and there were even more sage herbs. It was not inferior to any herb garden. Unfortunately, they were only a single type of herb, and there were many ferocious beasts guarding it. Yang Wu did not want to fight with these ferocious beasts. He completely restrained his aura and sneaked over to take some of the herbs. When the ferocious beasts discovered him, he had already quickly fled. Soon, he saw a sea of flowers. They were all moon umbrella flowers. Each moon umbrella flower was like a silver moon hanging upside down, emitting waves of enchanting fragrance. Countless bee demons were collecting honey from the flowers. They were very happy. A large hand swept past and took away an entire field of moon umbrella flowers. Buzz! The bee demons were furious and chased after the flower thief. After a while, there was a golden tree with 49 sparkling fruits. There was a huge snake sleeping under the golden tree. This snake was at least a demigod. Its coiled body was the size of a small mountain, and there were scales on its body. It looked extremely ferocious. Even if the earth dragon of the 3rd level was here, it would not be as mighty as this snake. After all, the earth dragon was not an attack-type spirit demon, and this snake was an attack-type spirit demon. An invisible winged blade swept past the golden tree, intending to cut it down. Clank! The winged blade slashed the golden tree, but it was like slashing on gold. There was a crisp sound, but the tree was not cut down. Hiss! The giant golden snake was awakened. It spat out its long tongue, and its bloodthirsty fangs flashed. It looked extremely ferocious. Yang Wu did not act rashly. He was still lurking. He thought to himself, I have to get the golden fruit. It seems like I have to kill this giant snake. Yang Wu concealed all of his aura and became one with heaven and earth. Even the giant golden snake could not detect his presence. The giant golden snake's eyes flickered. Clouds of golden, poisonous fog were spat out, covering the surrounding area for miles. The giant golden snake was too smart. It used poisonous gas to force out the hidden living beings. The nearby plants were all corroded by the golden, poisonous fog. Their vitality was all cut off, and they became barren. Yang Wu was still lying under a rock not far away, ignoring the golden, poisonous fog. Seeing that there was no movement, the giant golden snake closed its eyes again. Now is the time. Kill. Chapter 1262. A snake hit its weak spot. No matter how big a snake was, it would still have a weak spot. The giant golden snake's weak spot was a unique scale on its neck. This was the hardest scale and also its weak spot. The nether ice wing blade furiously pierced towards that spot. Clang! The nether ice wing blade was unable to break through that scale. The giant golden snake was enraged. Its golden demonic aura fluctuated as it shook its head, sending the invisible nether ice winged blade flying. At the same time, Yang Wu took the fastest step possible and stabbed towards the giant golden snake like a gust of wind. Die! Yang Wu held the Big Dipper sword in his hand and attacked with an untraceable sword. The giant golden snake had already been distracted. By the time it discovered Yang Wu, it was already too late. The Big Dipper sword carried a sharp sword aura that pierced through its scales and ruthlessly pierced its body. Hiss! The giant golden snake cried out in pain. It opened its mouth wide and bit towards Yang Wu. Yang Wu wanted to pull out his sword and slash back, but he found that he couldn't. The giant golden snake contracted its muscles and clamped down on the Big Dipper sword. At this critical moment, he twisted the Big Dipper sword. A torrent of sword aura converged on the blade and directly destroyed the giant golden snake's life force. The giant golden snake's final attack was still successful. Its two poisonous fangs pierced towards Yang Wu. The black tortoise battle armor appeared. The fangs were blocked by the black tortoise battle armor, but the terrifying venom corroded the black tortoise battle armor. This gave Yang Wu a big fright. What a terrifying poison! Yang Wu abandoned the Big Dipper sword and retreated. A large piece of the ground was corroded by the venom. Yang Wu killed the giant golden snake without any mishap. He quickly put away the snake's body. Yang Wu looked at the golden tree again and laughed. Let's carry the whole tree home. Previously, Yang Wu had dug out the baleful god tree and stored away the lightning deity's pool. Even the 5 mu of medicine garden had been emptied. Now, he wasn't even letting go of this golden tree. It was truly plucking feathers from a wild goose. The level of the golden tree was not low. It was almost a divine tree. Yang Wu plucked a golden fruit and sized it up, then said, "This golden fruit can't compare to the dragon phoenix fruit, but its value is still extraordinary. It can help those who cultivate the power of gold to condense a golden body. It's a pity that I don't cultivate gold profound qi." If the golden fruits fell into the hands of Jin Yuchen and Jin Yuhao, their strength and physical bodies would undergo a new round of improvement. It depends on their performance. If they perform well, it's not impossible to bestow it upon them. Yang Wu continued to go deeper. He had a concealment technique that could prevent him from being discovered by living beings. At the same time, he summoned the sacred mandala flower and had it scout the way. In addition, he placed a bowl of golden snake blood for the little golden scorpion to drink. The little golden scorpion was overjoyed. After swallowing the golden snake blood, its body became much larger and its aura increased by a lot. You little poisonous thing, follow Xiaoman well. You'll all benefit. Yang Wu looked at the golden scorpion that was crawling on his body and whispered. Now, the sacred mandala flower was infinitely close to the peak of the saint realm and possessed a terrifying killing power. The reason why it could grow so quickly was inseparable from the immortal elixir. The immortal elixir had raised its grade and allowed it to evolve. It had also refined many devil saint bodies, so it wasn't strange for it to reach this step. As long as it continued to absorb energy, it would be able to take another step. In this ancient-looking place, the sacred mandala flower was like a fish in water. Wherever it went, it absorbed a large amount of plant essence, becoming incomparably happy. In addition, it also collected a large amount of herbs for Yang Wu, so Yang Wu didn't have to worry too much about it. Yang Wu came to a cliff and saw a flying herb growing on the edge of the cliff. His eyes were straight, flying infant herb. This was a divine herb. The grass was shaped like a baby, and the leaves were like wings. It could fly and burrow into the ground. Yang Wu was about to throw out the heaven-catching net to catch the flying infant herb when a god realm spirit demon grabbed it from the cliff. This was a strange, old demon with the head of a bull and the body of a tiger. Its speed was very fast. Just as it was about to catch the flying infant herb, it turned into an afterimage and disappeared. The old demon couldn't catch it. Roar! The old demon roared and chased after the flying infant herb, causing a huge commotion. Yang Wu felt the old demon's terrifying demonic aura and didn't dare to snatch the food from the tiger's mouth. It was definitely something stronger than an earth dragon. He continued to go deeper and saw a mountain stream. The stream was crystal clear and emitted a dreamy light. It was a divine spring. Just as Yang Wu was about to collect the divine spring, the sacred mandala flower immediately transmitted a message. Master, be careful. Following the sacred mandala flower's transmission, Yang Wu felt a weak aura hidden in the forest. There were 6 strange eyes staring in his direction. His hair stood on end. Let's go. Yang Wu didn't hesitate to change direction and leave. That 6-eyed fellow was definitely more terrifying than the ox-headed, tiger-bodied old monster. With it guarding the divine stream, he had no chance at all. Moreover, the other party had already discovered his existence. If he acted rashly, he would definitely die. Yang Wu felt very sullen. He didn't have the courage to collect the divine items. He thought to himself, the next time I find something, I have to give it a try. Yang Wu didn't find any more divine herbs, but he found many saint herbs. He and the sacred mandala flower worked together to collect them. There were evil plants there. Ordinary creatures didn't dare to approach, but the sacred mandala flower could restrain them and refine them to increase its cultivation. A divine-level plant charged out and prepared to devour the sacred mandala flower. Yang Wu took out the Big Dipper sword and swept it out. With a sword in hand, the world is mine. Yang Wu held the Big Dipper sword and felt that there was nothing to be afraid of. After a fierce battle, he chased away the plant. This plant was actually a divine-level medicine. It was a pity that he couldn't capture it. After Yang Wu collected the saint herbs, he muttered to himself, "Relying on the divine sword isn't a solution. I'll try to reduce the use of the divine sword." Yang Wu sped up and headed towards the huge palace. He tried his best to avoid the terrifying auras and approached his destination safely. This palace was larger than the ones he saw on the third floor. It was more like the true location of the Medicine God Palace's main palace. Before Yang Wu even got close to the main palace, he immediately sensed a large amount of demonic aura. He sensed that something was different. The sacred mandala flower acted as his vanguard. Soon, the sacred mandala flower replied, "The spirit demon has taken over the palace." "That's fine." Yang Wu smiled bitterly. He always thought that these palaces would repel vicious beasts and spirit demons. They wouldn't allow them to take over and leave it for later generations to inherit. However, the palace on the fourth floor seemed to be different. Yang Wu got closer and saw a few spirit demons standing in front of the palace with weapons in their hands. These were all spirit demons that had taken human form and were extraordinarily powerful. Just as Yang Wu was considering whether or not to force his way in, a spirit demon held a heaven-breaking mirror and shone it in his direction. "The human alchemist has arrived. Please enter the castle to see the castle lord." This was a flying spirit demon that was far away. It held the heaven-breaking mirror and observed the surroundings. Even though Yang Wu had concealed his aura, he couldn't escape the light of the mirror. Yang Wu had no choice but to stand up and walk towards the palace with big strides. "Let me see what kind of hero your castle lord is," Yang Wu said proudly. His battle prowess was unparalleled. What living beings could possibly fear him? Even if he couldn't defeat them, couldn't he escape? The spirit demon that had taken human form glared at Yang Wu unhappily and shouted, "Kneel down and kowtow before you can enter." Yang Wu acted as if he hadn't heard anything, and he continued walking towards the hall. The spirit demons were enraged and stabbed their tridents at Yang Wu. These spirit demons had the strength of a saint-level cultivator. They didn't show any mercy and were determined to kill this audacious human. "How dare you?" Yang Wu shouted and waved his hand angrily, sending the two spirit demons flying. Other spirit demons quickly rushed over and shouted, "How dare you be so impudent in the castle? Skin him, fry him, and eat him." Yang Wu took out his token and said loudly, "I am a 5th-grade disciple of the temple. How dare you be so impudent?" After Yang Wu passed all the tests of the 4th Inheritance Tower, he had become a 5th-grade disciple of the Medicine God Temple. The token in his hand seemed to contain the power of the great Tao and resonated with the palace. The palace's formation appeared, and as long as he gave the order, these spirit demons would be killed. Many spirit demons were shocked. They had only been allowed to stay in the palace. If the formation was activated, they would definitely die. "All of you make way. Let the human alchemist in." A voice sounded from within the palace. These spirit demons didn't dare to be impudent anymore. They all made way for Yang Wu to enter the palace. After entering the palace, Yang Wu's face revealed a look of astonishment. He saw a huge black wok that was around 1,000 feet in size. It was a rarely seen wok in the world. In front of the black pot was a pot of medicine. The thick smell of medicine permeated the entire palace. The medicine was still boiling in the pot. An old man was controlling the fire to refine the medicine. When Yang Wu saw the old man's appearance, he was shocked. He looked similar to the skinny monkey after he transformed, but he looked much older. Saint Do tribe. The Saint Do tribe was a spirit race that was born from heaven and earth. They looked similar to monkeys and apes. The skinny monkey Sun Do was born from the blood of Sun Qian's heart. He had the blood of the human race and was a mixed blood. He wasn't a pure Saint Do tribe member. Sun Qian and this creature in front of him were the real Saint Do tribe members. Yang Wu couldn't sense the old man's aura. His strength had exceeded Yang Wu's imagination. He was a terrifying expert. Don't just stand there. Since you have become a 5th-grade disciple, you have the right to see this pot of medicine of mine. I have been refining it for 10,000 years. Why can't it become a peerless medicine? The old man didn't look at Yang Wu. Refining medicine for 10,000 years? Yang Wu was dumbfounded. What kind of medicine could be refined for so long? Even a godly medicine couldn't withstand such refinement. Yang Wu took a closer look at the pot of medicinal liquid. Shockingly, it was a great medicine refined using the divine spring as the foundation, various divine herbs and saint herbs as the essence, and fused with numerous deity-level demon cores, beast demons, and even divine stones. Every strand of medicinal liquid could probably help one's strength advance by leaps and bounds. Senior, are you sure you are refining medicine and not poison? How dare you? Chapter 1263. The Saint Do clan member's aura was shocking. Just a strand of his aura was enough to force all the creatures in the hall to kneel on the ground and tremble. There were even spirit beasts that had just reached the god realm. None of them dared to stand in front of this Saint Do clan member. This was a terrifying being at the overlord level. Yang Wu felt his heart tighten as a sense of suffocation assaulted him. A huge figure had appeared in front of him, forcing him to kneel. Yang Wu relied on his unyielding willpower to support his spine. He refused to kneel and said loudly, "Senior, if you still want to refine the pill, don't try to intimidate me." The Saint Do clan member who was still controlling the fire looked back at Yang Wu. His eyes shone with a terrifying light. He said in a deep voice, "Tell me what you know. If you say anything wrong, I'll refine you into the cauldron." Yang Wu took a deep breath and said, "Senior, you've truly earned my admiration for refining this cauldron of 10,000-year pills. I'm afraid you're the only one in this world who has the willpower to persist. If it were any other alchemist, they wouldn't have the willpower to do so." When the Saint Do clan member heard this, his expression relaxed quite a bit. The pressure he exerted on the other creatures wasn't as terrifying as before. "Senior, you want to refine a pill that the ancients couldn't, so it will definitely shock the world. Any strand of medicinal liquid can help people ascend. The only pity is that the effects have been simmered for too long. The essence has already dissipated, and there's a bit of pill poison. Even if a Saint Do clan member consumes it, they'll probably be poisoned to death before their strength increases. As for God clan members, they can indeed withstand the effects, but there will be side effects that are difficult to remove. I'm sure you understand this logic. Senior, you've been refining this medicinal liquid not only because you want to form the pill, but also because you want to create your own path of alchemy, right?" Yang Wu calmly analyzed. "You make it sound so reasonable. Then do you have a way to help me condense the pill?" The Saint Do clan member asked. He then said, "If you don't, I'll throw you into the cauldron and refine you into medicinal liquid. I've already refined over a dozen God clan members. It won't make a difference if I add you." The Saint Do clan member's aura was dense. He wasn't a good person. Yang Wu's heart was filled with bitterness. The difference between them was too great. He definitely couldn't escape, and he couldn't beat the Saint Do clan member. Of carelessness. "Senior, you're too stubborn." Yang Wu took a deep breath. He paused for a moment and said seriously, "On the path of alchemy, it doesn't mean that you have to form a pill to become a good medicine. Refining a medicinal liquid that is the focus of attention for thousands of years is also something that others can only look up to. Senior's cauldron is mixed with countless herbs, even a large amount of divine medicines and divine liquids. It is already a cauldron of immortal medicinal liquid. You only need a little guiding herb to help it become an extraordinary immortal liquid." "Of it. I have the cauldron with me," Yang Wu solemnly replied. "Hurry up and take it out." The Saint Do clan member anxiously said, "This is my lifeline. If I take it out, I'm afraid I won't have long to live." Yang Wu was in a difficult position. Your lifeline is not my life. If you keep talking, I'll refine you first. The St. Do clan member anxiously said. Senior, don't be anxious. Listen to me. Yang Wu calmly replied. Before adding the cauldron, you should first remove the poison. Otherwise, even if you have the cauldron, it won't help. How long are you going to play tricks? That's not it. I can help you remove the poison. Senior's eyesight is outstanding. You must be able to determine if I have the ability. Are you afraid that I'll escape? What a joke. If you can escape from me, I'll admit defeat. Hurry up and remove the poison. Then add the cauldron and refine the cauldron. If you can't, you'll become a cauldron. Yes, Senior. Yang Wu let out a sigh of relief. He rushed in front of the cauldron. He found it hard to imagine that this cauldron could also be used as a cauldron. He didn't have any intention of underestimating this cauldron. How low could the quality of a cauldron be if it could withstand the burning of the divine flame? Yang Wu looked at the great medicine here. Wisps of medicinal fragrance were rising. There were clouds condensing. It also seemed like dragons and phoenixes were dancing in the air. There were also ghosts wailing. The many strange phenomena were very shocking. As he breathed, he could feel his dantian boiling. The medicinal properties were too domineering and fierce. Xiaoman, I've given you the opportunity. Swallow the poison here. Yang Wu gently stroked his arm and said. Immediately after, a sacred mandala flower bloomed from his arm. Flower vines turned into chains that bound the ghosts and swallowed them all. These ghosts were formed from the cauldron's cauldron poison. How terrifying was a 10,000-year-old poison. As the sacred mandala flower swallowed it, its power crazily increased. The St. Do tribe creature looked at Yang Wu and wasn't surprised. He didn't care about these sacred evil things. As long as he could get rid of the cauldron poison and leave behind the true cauldron, he would have succeeded. The sacred mandala flower was worthy of being called the leader of all poisons. This domineering poison helped it break through to the peak of the Saint Realm and continued to rise. It turned out that the hundreds of flower vines that grew out were increasing in number. They quickly reached 1,000 and were crazily absorbing the cauldron poison. The sacred mandala flower spirit appeared. She was even more beautiful. There were more black patterns on her body, filled with a thick sense of mystery. The harvest is too great. Yang Wu couldn't help but sigh after sensing the sacred mandala flowers increase. The cauldron poison was fatal to other creatures, but to the sacred mandala flower, it was the greatest source of energy. The St. Do tribe creature waited patiently and didn't rush him. He saw that the cauldron poison had indeed decreased a lot. When the sacred mandala flower finished swallowing the cauldron poison, it had already reached the peak of the Saint Realm. There was also a large amount of energy that hadn't been refined in its body. It had been condensed into a poison pill. Once it disappeared, it would definitely transform into a divine-level mandala flower. All right, the cauldron poison is gone. Why haven't you taken out your cauldron yet? The St. Do tribe creature quickly said. Yang Wu revealed a solemn expression. This cauldron will be infused with my essence blood. It will help the cauldron completely turn into an immortal cauldron. I only hope that Senior won't forget Junior after it becomes an immortal cauldron. After saying this, he really did cut open his wrist and let out some blood. A cold smile flashed across the St. Do tribe creature's face. He wanted to see what this youth was going to do. How could mere blood help his cauldron of cauldron immortal cauldron? When the blood dripped into the cauldron, the scene suddenly came to life. 10,000 cauldrons melted. There was the roar of a true dragon, the roar of a white tiger, the descent of a vermilion bird, and the black tortoise spitting out water. Not long after, it turned into a divine spring that hung upside down. Immortal chi was like clouds, forming a dense, immortal light that enveloped the sky above the palace. It shocked every corner of the mountain range. Dense, immortal chi spread everywhere, blurring the vision of living beings. It also filled their sense of smell. Just smelling this immortal chi made them feel like they were ascending to immortality. It was truly wonderful. The St. Do tribe creature danced with joy. Immortal cauldron. The 10,000-year immortal cauldron is really complete. Huh. It was also at this moment that Yang Wu suddenly fell into the cauldron of cauldron. The Saint Do tribe creature was so frightened that he quickly reached out and scooped him up. When Yang Wu was scooped out, the cauldron of cauldron was reduced by half. However, the cauldron's effects were still shocking. The Saint Do tribe creature grabbed Yang Wu and angrily scolded, "Why is so much of my immortal cauldron gone? Brat, did you do this?" His strength was incomparably great. He grabbed Yang Wu until his bones were shattered and blood spurted out. Yang Wu struggled to explain, "Immortal. Immortal cauldron has just been formed. It's normal for the medicinal effects to be compressed." This Saint Do tribe creature was too terrifying. He didn't have any strength to resist. If the other party really wanted to kill him, he would die without a doubt. The Saint Do tribe creature frowned and said, "You dare to lie to me?" He relaxed his grip a lot, giving Yang Wu a chance to breathe. "Senior, think about it. Medicinal liquid condenses into pills. Pills are the result of medicinal liquid solidifying and compressing. This immortal cauldron works the same way," Yang Wu explained simply. "Then why did you pour into the cauldron just now?" Yang Wu said pitifully, "That's because I dripped the blood of my only immortal root into the cauldron. I lost my immortal root, so naturally I felt dizzy and weak. Also, the immortal cauldron has just been formed, so its power is shocking. I also want to take a sip to nourish my body. Otherwise, I would only be at this cultivation level for the rest of my life. Even if my foundation was damaged, I would die in 10,000 years. It would be difficult for me to chase after immortality." His face was indeed pale. His blood was weak, and his bones were deformed. He looked very miserable. The Saint Do tribe creature was skeptical. He threw Yang Wu aside and walked to the cauldron. He looked at the cauldron of a mortal cauldron and dipped his finger in the cauldron of a mortal cauldron. He licked it and instantly felt very comfortable. He smiled and said, "Haha, it's really a mortal cauldron. It's really a mortal cauldron. Congratulations, Master, for successfully refining immortal cauldron." Many spirit beasts knelt on the ground and sang in unison. Only Yang Wu was secretly recovering from his injuries. He sighed in his heart. "I lost a drop of immortal cauldron in exchange for half a cauldron of medicine. It's worth it." Yang Wu's blood and a drop of immortal cauldron from the immortal immortality peach tree helped the cauldron of medicine become immortal cauldron. Even if the cauldron of medicine didn't have a mortal cauldron, it was still a top-grade divine cauldron. The immortal cauldron only had the effect of hastening the process. It could be said that the Saint Do tribe creature had benefited from it. In addition, he was also afraid that the Saint Do tribe creature wouldn't let him go. If that was really the case, then it was his fate. After the Saint Do tribe creature laughed, he waved his hand and a power enveloped the cauldron, sealing the immortal cauldron. He looked at Yang Wu and said, "Since you helped me make a mortal cauldron, I won't treat you badly. The inheritance of the main palace will be yours." Chapter 1264. The fourth level of the main palace was the most important place in the Medicine God Temple. However, it had already been taken over by the Saint Do tribe, and there were so many spirit demons that had been subdued here. Would there still be any inheritance left here? Since the Saint Do tribe had spoken, Yang Wu's life could be saved. He let out a sigh of relief and said, "Thank you, Senior." After pausing for a moment, he said, "Senior, I've lost too much blood. If you don't scram, I'll drain all of your blood and refine it," the Saint Do tribe said in an extremely hostile tone. Yang Wu covered his tears and left. He cursed in his heart. Stingy guy. He thought that he could get some more gray herbs. The immortal immortality peach tree needed them to help it grow. "Master, hurry up and give me half of the medicinal liquid," the immortal immortality peach tree said to Yang Wu. Yang Wu's face drooped as he said, "This medicinal liquid is dripped with your sweat. Aren't you embarrassed to absorb it? Don't you think it's dirty?" "My sweat isn't dirty. Even if it's a little dirty, I can only put up with it. It's your fault for not being able to get the immortal spring due to water me," the immortal immortality peach tree said with a sigh. Yang Wu felt his teeth hurt. He wasn't a god or an immortal. How could he get the immortal spring due for it? It was obvious that it despised him for being too useless. Yang Wu had no choice but to give up half of the gray herbs. The effects of this half of the great herbs were extraordinary. It could definitely help his little ancestor break through to the Jade Moon realm. It could also help his great-grandmother reach a higher level. That was why he risked his life and pretended to fall into the cauldron. He used the Qian Kuan space to put away half of the great herbs. The Saint Do tribe didn't think that Yang Wu would be so sneaky. He had already refined a huge Qian Kuan space. Yang Wu walked into the palace and found that it was indeed empty. Everything had been taken away. Needless to say, this was definitely the work of the Saint Do tribe. The Saint Do tribe was a natural being, so their intelligence wasn't low. Naturally, they wouldn't let go of anything that was useful here. However, there were some things that the Saint Do tribe couldn't take away. Engraved on the walls of the palace were the complete simplified palm technique and a set of shape-shifting technique. Yang Wu had learned this simplified palm technique when he was at the 3rd level. Now that he had seen the complete chant, he had completely memorized it. His understanding of the simplified palm technique had deepened by a lot. As for the shape-shifting technique, it was a technique on how to use soul strength to condense doppelgangers. It could transform into all kinds of doppelgangers, and it didn't have to be in human form. It could become a fire ant man, a variety of souls, or even a plant. As long as one didn't have a spiritual eye or an extremely powerful soul strength, it would be difficult to distinguish the existence of the doppelgangers. Yang Wu was greatly astonished. This shape-shifting technique was truly too astonishing, subverting his understanding of the soul. This is a divine ability, Yang Wu exclaimed inwardly. If he could learn this ability, his willpower would be able to transform into different forms, which would be of great benefit to him in hiding, killing enemies, stealing information, and so on. Yang Wu quickly memorized the chant of the shape-shifting technique. It wasn't easy to learn this secret art. One had to have a powerful soul strength and reach the out-of-body state to be able to cultivate it. Yang Wu had already reached this stage, and he could definitely cultivate it. After memorizing these 2 secret arts, Yang Wu bowed to the statue of Shennong at the center of the palace hall, thanking him for the gift. The statue of Shennong seemed to have come alive and accepted Yang Wu's bow. Yang Wu left the main palace hall and walked towards the side halls. The side halls were slightly better than the main palace hall. There were still some things left behind, such as some ancient books, some universal elixir bottles, and some ancient cauldrons. Their grades weren't low either. In addition, Yang Wu also found some combat weapons in one of the martial arts halls. These combat weapons were obviously leftovers that had been picked out. They were scattered all over the ground, but every single one of them was a saint weapon. Some were even half a step into the heaven-reaching realm. Even if they're defective, they are still very valuable to me. Yang Wu wasn't picky about his food. He put away all the combat weapons. After Yang Wu put away the saint weapons, he thought to himself, I've been relying too much on the divine weapons recently. No matter what opponent I meet in the future, I have to use a weapon that suits me first. I will only use the divine weapons when my weapon is destroyed. Only then will my combat power increase. Finally, Yang Wu walked past a woman's room. There were many accessories here, and every one of them was extraordinary. The Saint Do race didn't touch these accessories. Yang Wu used his soul strength to sense them and found that they didn't have any energy waves. Then he put them all away. When I see Yu, Bing Xue, and Lord Yu, it should be nice to give them these. Yang Wu walked out of the hall with satisfaction. Then he went to the back hall. He didn't want to go back to the front hall and meet that Saint Do race creature again. Who knew if the other party would suddenly kill him? When he reached the back hall, he found a bluestone corridor. He didn't know where it led to. Yang Wu walked into the corridor curiously. There was an array formation's power floating. He took out a token to isolate the array formation. He saw a beautiful scenery on his left and right. There were pavilions and buildings. There was a chess set in the pavilion. There was a small bridge with flowing water. There were golden carps playing in the water. There were green bamboos and beautiful flowers. The fragrance was intoxicating. It was really beautiful. Whoever lives here must be someone who knows how to enjoy life. Yang Wu sighed. He couldn't help but think that when he brought Wuho Gang to greater heights in the future, he would definitely find himself such a beautiful and quiet place. As he walked, he appeared in the mountain range. He could see towering old trees on his left and right. He could also see ferocious beasts and spirit demons lying in the forest. However, they didn't seem to notice his existence and allowed him to walk forward. Soon, Yang Wu found that this was the path to the 5th level of the Inheritance Tower. That's good. I'll pass all the tests as soon as possible. Let's see what surprises I can get at the end. Yang Wu adjusted his emotions and quickened his pace towards the 5th Inheritance Tower. This Inheritance Tower was different from the previous Inheritance Towers. It only had 3 levels. However, it was taller than the previous Inheritance Towers. Before he entered the Inheritance Tower, a voice rang out. You can enter the tower after you show your token. Yang Wu waved the token. It automatically flew into the Inheritance Tower. A light door opened, and he could step into the Inheritance Tower. Purify all the herbs in this prescription to 90%. You can enter the 2nd level. The voice rang out again. Following that, a pill prescription fell in front of Yang Wu. It included countless herbs. Soul Recovery Pill. This was a God-level pill prescription. It wasn't easy to purify these herbs to 90%. The God-level pill required a large amount of herbs. It required better control of the fire. It also required soul power to protect these herbs. Once it couldn't hold on, it could lead to a situation where all the previous efforts would be wasted. Fortunately, this wasn't difficult for Yang Wu. Yang Wu didn't hesitate to enter the state of refining. He refined very slowly, hoping to pass in one go. In this pile of herbs, not only were there large amounts of saint medicine, there were also hundreds of god medicine. These god medicine were all living herbs. They would resist. If he couldn't suppress them, he wouldn't be able to refine them. This was the first time Yang Wu refined god medicine. He had to be careful. He opened his soul state to the maximum and suppressed each and every god medicine. Do you have the heart to refine them? Doesn't your conscience hurt? A god medicine begged like a woman. You cruel guy. You're really a beast. You even want to refine my god. You'll definitely die a horrible death. Another god medicine cursed. You're heartless. The heavens won't let an executioner like you go. Another god medicine struggled to say. These god medicine all had divinity. They could bewitch people's hearts and disturb their minds. Those with weak willpower would definitely lose all their previous efforts, and the god medicine might even break free and run away. There were even some god medicine that could attack, and their power wasn't weak. This was still a test of an alchemist's ability to deal with it. Yang Wu finally realized how troublesome these god medicine were. There were a few times when he almost burned the god medicine directly instead of refining it. After a fierce battle, he finally refined all these herbs. His forehead and back were sweating profusely. It looked like he was exhausted. He put the refined essence of the medicine cauldron into the card slot. The medicine cauldron disappeared, and a voice quickly responded, "Pass. You can enter the next stage." Yang Wu stepped into the 2nd stage. The test was actually to use the fire wheel formation to refine a god-level demon core. This stage was a bit more difficult. Even though he comprehended the fire wheel formation, he wasn't familiar enough with this formation. It was easier said than done to make him use the fire wheel formation to refine this god-level demon core. But the test was like this, so he had no choice but to do so. He wasn't in a hurry to set up the fire wheel formation. Instead, he meditated to construct the fire wheel formation over and over again. After he was completely familiar with it, he started to set up the fire wheel formation. His hands kept forming seals, outlining one formation pattern after another, forming the fire wheel formation. There were 81 formation eyes left in it, and each of them fused with different levels of firepower. After he put the 81 sparks into the formation eyes, the fire wheel formation came to life. Yang Wu shouted, "Refine!" With the fire wheel formation, it was much easier for him to refine the god-level Yao Yao. Roar! Suddenly, a huge demon soul emerged from the god-level demon core. That terrifying pressure was incomparably frightening as it pressed down on Yang Wu. At this moment, Yang Wu understood why he had to set up the fire wheel formation to refine the demon core. With the fire wheel formation, he could easily refine this demon soul without being afraid of being attacked. If he didn't have this fire wheel formation, this demon soul could directly injure his divine court and destroy his soul. Yang Wu sighed in his heart. Lucky. He was lucky that he didn't blindly try to refine a god-level pill when he was at the Apothecary Alliance. Otherwise, he would definitely fail when faced with an unexpected situation or when he didn't have enough power. As expected of the Inheritance Pagoda, those who pass these 5 Inheritance Pagoda can become a god-level apothecary. Yang Wu controlled the fire wheel formation to resist the demon soul. The 81 sparks burned the demon's soul like dragons. The demon soul met fire as if it had met its nemesis, especially this kind of quasi-god level fire. It couldn't struggle for long before it was completely refined. All that was left was to slowly refine the essence of the demon core. That would be considered a success. Chapter 1265. After Yang Wu's saint body reached the large success stage, he felt that it was enough to deal with an ordinary god-grade expert. At the same time, he also felt that refining a god-grade demon core wouldn't be too difficult. However, after refining the god-grade demon core in front of him, he realized that if he didn't have the fire wheel array, he wouldn't be able to successfully refine the god-grade demon core in one go. It wasn't only because of the demon soul's interference, but also because the god-grade demon core contained too much essence. It needed to be refined bit by bit, and it consumed a lot of energy. Now, he had the fire wheel array, but it still took him 7 days and 7 nights to successfully refine the god-grade demon core's essence. Those who can reach the god-grade realm are experts who have cultivated for countless years. Even with the help of the fire wheel array, it took me 7 days and 7 nights. If not for the fire wheel array, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to refine it in half a month, Yang Wu lamented. However, he didn't feel that it was a big blow. He was still young, and there was still a lot of room for improvement. If he broke through to the 7th or 8-star rune realm, it wouldn't be too difficult. It was all because he was still too weak at the moment. After refining the god-grade demon core, Yang Wu smoothly entered the 3rd floor, which was also the last floor of the Inheritance Tower. Congratulations on entering the last floor. As long as you can pass the test, you will receive a great fortune. The voice of the Inheritance Tower resounded. Then, the real situation of the 3rd floor appeared in front of Yang Wu. A nice coffin appeared in front of Yang Wu. A creature lay in the coffin. It was a woman, but she wasn't from the human race. She might be from the fox demon race, or some other humanoid race. She was extremely charming and could be called a peerless beauty. She had an oval face, sparkling skin, and a perfect figure. She was covered in clothes that were as thin as a cicada's wings, making her look perfect. Unfortunately, she didn't have any vitality. Otherwise, any man would think of ways to take her into their room. Yang Wu couldn't help but sigh at how the heavens could give birth to such a perfect woman. Even Ziyu Yu, Xin Yuan Houwu, and Chao Jifei were inferior in front of her. It wasn't that they weren't as beautiful as her, but that their temperaments weren't as outstanding as hers, nor were they as perfect as hers. Perhaps when they reached a higher level, their physiques would change, and they would be able to compete with this woman. Concoct the soul recovery divine pill and revive the fox girl. You'll pass the trial. The voice sounded again. In the next moment, a large number of herbs appeared before Yang Wu, as well as a divine rank Yao core and a divine rank medicinal cauldron. Yang Wu didn't think too much about it and hurriedly entered a state of alchemy. As long as he completed this stage, his journey in the Inheritance Tower would be over. After Yang Wu had the tempering of the 1st and 2nd levels, it was much easier for him to refine the 2nd time. The essence of the herbs had been refined, and the demon core had been refined. Everything had been completed step by step. In the end, when refining pills, Yang Wu encountered a problem. This was a cauldron of divine herbs, and it wasn't easy to forcefully fuse them together. Yang Wu had no choice but to use the 2nd-grade immortal liquid to recover his peak strength, and he used 120% of his strength to fuse the medicinal pills. Yang Wu's 6 star lines floated, and the thick star lines borrowed the majestic power of the stars and surged into the divine cauldron, fusing the essence of the herbs and the immortal liquid together. The essence of the divine cauldron was constantly rotating, forming a vortex with an incomparably vast momentum. At this moment, the medicinal power, Yao Kor's power, and his own power were constantly colliding. If they couldn't fuse, there would be a danger of the cauldron exploding. "Condense for me," Yang Wu roared. The power of a single star. Yang Wu's 6 star lines rippled, and the boundless power of the stars entered the medicinal cauldron, forming the power of a single star. This kind of power was already comparable to the power of a peak saint. However, this still wasn't enough. Yang Wu used all his strength to guide the power of 1.5 stars into the medicinal cauldron, and only then did he quickly withdraw the firewheel formation and cover the medicinal cauldron with the lid. Boom! The medicinal cauldron shook, and this cauldron of medicinal pills exploded. Yang Wu was sent flying by this power, and his face revealed an unwilling expression. "I still fail." This was the last stage of the inheritance tower, and as long as he passed it, he would be able to obtain a great opportunity. Now that he failed, wouldn't there be nothing left? Yang Wu was very unwilling. He felt that he could almost refine the medicinal pills, so why did he still fail at the last moment? There's still 2 chances. You can rest for 2 hours before starting again. The voice of the inheritance tower rang out. Yang Wu instantly breathed a sigh of relief. The last stage was very difficult, but there was still a chance. He didn't dare to rashly start refining pills, so he recovered his strength and thought about the reason for his failure. After thinking about it again and again, he finally understood that the problem occurred at the last moment when he was condensing the pill. He wasn't strong enough to condense the pill. Divine medicine was different from other medicinal pills. It wasn't enough to fuse the essence of herbs and demonic cores together. It also required the power of an alchemist to be able to mix them together to condense the pill. Yang Wu's battle prowess was comparable to a half step into the heaven-reaching realm, and with a divine weapon, he could fight an ordinary divine-level expert. However, he wasn't a divine-level expert yet, and the power he used couldn't fuse with the divine pill. He was incomparably conflicted. He was thinking about whether he should immediately take the star pattern pill and directly raise his cultivation level before refining pills. He still didn't dare to do so. The star pattern pill was useful to others, but might not be useful to him. He had cultivated a great success divine body, and his foundation was too strong. The star pattern pill definitely couldn't help him break through. 2 hours passed quickly, and Yang Wu didn't think of a countermeasure, so he had to start refining pills again. This time, Yang Wu's speed was slower and more careful. He hoped that every step was perfect. After laying the foundation, he planned for the final perfect pill condensation. When Yang Wu condensed the pill again, he erupted with all his power in one breath. He didn't hold back at all. He urged his power to pour into the medicinal cauldron, and even drew out more than half of his soul power into the medicinal cauldron to help fuse the pill. This time, the cauldron didn't explode, but he only refined a few half-finished pills. They weren't complete pills. If an ordinary alchemist could reach this step, he could be called a divine alchemist. However, Yang Wu had high standards for himself. He felt that refining pills like this was too shameful. If little Hay was here, she would definitely despise him for his poor alchemy skills. Yang Wu put away the half-finished pills and asked to refine them again. Yang Wu sat cross-legged and kept thinking about the path of alchemy he had walked all the way, looking for a solution. He couldn't help but think of the conversation he had with the Supreme Protector on Wudong Mountain. The Supreme Protector had said, "Alchemy is like practicing Tai Chi. Slow work produces fine work, turning yin and yang into heaven and earth. And heaven and earth is a circle, which is also a pill. Alchemy is like practicing Tai Chi, I understand." "Haha, I understand. Many thanks for senior's guidance." Yang Wu laughed wildly, and then began to refine pills again. This time, he refined faster than the previous 2 times. He was no longer afraid of making mistakes, because he was already familiar with the previous steps. He only lacked the last step. When he condensed the elixir again, he assumed the posture of Tai Chi, his Tai Chi palm force needed, and the power of the stars flowed into the medicine cauldron one after another. The power of the stars formed yin and yang, dividing the essence of the herbs and the power of the demon core into two. One was yin, and the other was yang. His power was that distinct line, kneading them together. The whirlpool spun faster and faster, forming a Tai Chi circle. When it reached perfection, Yang Wu withdrew all of his power and covered the medicinal cauldron. The medicinal cauldron was shaking nonstop, and strands of steam were continuously emitted. It looked like the cauldron would explode again at any time. Don't explode, don't explode. Yang Wu stared at the medicinal cauldron, and his palms were sweating. After a while, the medicinal cauldron stopped, and no more steam was emitted. Everything returned to calm. Boom! Suddenly, a thunderous sound rang out, and Yang Wu jumped in fright. Just when Yang Wu thought that the divine thunder would descend, he realized that it was a false alarm. The inheritance tower could also isolate the divine thunder. Yang Wu composed himself and impatiently opened the divine cauldron's lid. 3 round pills appeared in front of him. Waves of dense light floated, and a medicinal fragrance spread for thousands of miles. Ha! The pills are formed, the pills are formed. Yang Wu was incomparably excited. These 3 one-tribulation pills represented that he had become a true divine alchemist. It was of great significance. There was a huge divide between Saint Alchemist and Divine Alchemist. Some people would never be able to cross this step in their entire lives, not only because their realm couldn't keep up, but also because their alchemy skills couldn't keep up. Yang Wu was only in the Star Mark realm, and he had already refined a divine pill. This was a huge leap, and he was a true genius alchemist. Soul Recovery Pill. This was a divine pill that could recover the divine soul. This time, Yang Wu didn't contribute the pill, but used it to revive the fox girl in front of him. When the fox girl was revived, it meant that he had passed. Yang Wu put away the 2 divine pills, took one of them, and muttered to the fox girl, "I hope you can revive, and I also hope that you won't kill me when you wake up." Yang Wu could see that the fox girl's strength was definitely extraordinary when she was alive. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been placed here and needed a divine level pill to revive. This was a divine level expert. Yang Wu fed the pill into the fox girl's mouth. Next, it was up to fate. This fox girl should have been dead for a long time. Could a divine pill really save her? Yang Wu's heart was also drumming. After feeding the divine pill, the fox girl didn't revive immediately, and the inheritance tower didn't announce the result. Yang Wu simply sat down cross-legged to recover his strength and waited quietly. In any case, even if he couldn't save her, he felt that this trip was worth it. Going to the Medicine God Palace and becoming a divine alchemist was more worth it than anything else. Suddenly, a strand of soul energy from the inheritance tower entered the fox girl's forehead. Soon, the ice coffin emitted strands of indescribable vitality. Yang Wu quivered and said, "She's really alive?" The fox girl opened her charming eyes, and 2 rays of light pierced the sky. She shouted, "Old man, I'm going to kill you." Chapter 1266. A murderous aura filled the entire Tower of Inheritance. Yang Wu was even shaken by this murderous aura and directly hit the wall of the Tower of Inheritance. He spat out a mouthful of blood. This vixen was too powerful. Yang Wu did not hesitate to turn around and flee. If he stayed any longer, only death would await him. However, without waiting for him to leave, a power descended and an old figure appeared. The vixen who had just woken up was pressed into the ice coffin by a palm and was unable to jump out. "Old man, if you don't let me go, do you believe that I won't destroy your entire Medicine God Palace?" The vixen said with incomparable agitation. This old figure was the Tower of Inheritance's artifact spirit. With his strength, he could suppress the vixen, which was enough to show how high the Tower of Inheritance's level was. "Back then, you broke in my Medicine God Palace and wanted to steal my Medicine God Palace's inheritance. I was already merciful enough not to completely kill you. Now, my medicine god palace's new disciple has saved your life. You will be his path protector for 100 years. After 100 years, you will be free. The tower spirit said faintly and threw an item in Yang Wu's direction. He said, "This is the vixen's origin soul. You only need to refine it into the god's court to be able to control her. In these 100 years, if she can be your path protector obediently, you can give her a path of freedom." Yang Wu looked at the small soul bell flying in front of him and could feel that it was extraordinary. There was a vixen's soul shadow in the small soul bell. It was just as the tower spirit said. As long as he refined the small soul bell into the god's court, it would not be a problem for him to control the vixen. However, he still did not understand what was going on and was clearly a little hesitant. "Brat, if you dare to do this, I will definitely eat your heart and liver alive, peel off your rubber band, and make you suffer a fate worse than death." The vixen let out a strong, threatening voice. "With your little strength, it is your great fortune to be the path protector of my medicine god palace's moon-class disciple. Who knows, you might need to rely on him to enter a higher realm in the future." The tower spirit replied. Then he said to Yang Wu, "If you don't refine it, when will you? I can't suppress her for long. Once she escapes, you will die without a doubt." Yang Wu did not hesitate to activate the soul tactics and used his soul power to refine the small soul bell. The small soul bell was an ownerless object, so Yang Wu could easily brand it with his soul force and store it in the divine court. A portion of the fox girl's origin soul was suppressed within this soul bell, and he could extinguish her soul at any time. In other words, the fox girl's life was in his hands, and he could indeed control her. "Okay, I will teach you the last part of this soul incantation. From now on, you are a moon-class disciple of the Medicine God Palace. When you get to the godly realm, you can come to the Medicine God Palace to get more powerful inheritances," the tower spirit said as it passed the last part of the soul incantation into Yang Wu's forehead. After Yang Wu received the inheritance, the tower spirit gave another object to Yang Wu. He said, "This is your disciple token. Engrave your name and drip your blood essence. In the future, you can live here for a long time. You can also come and go as you wish. From now on, you're the owner of this place." I am the owner of this place?" Yang Wu said in shock. "Of course. Otherwise, how could it be considered a great opportunity?" The tower spirit replied. After a pause, he sighed and said, "Not every moon-class disciple has their own cultivation area. Only the moon-class disciples from the lower realm who have been selected for tens of thousands of years have such qualifications. This place is very important. You have to cherish it and prepare for entering the God realm in the future." "What do I need to prepare for?" Yang Wu was confused. "Becoming the best alchemist is the best preparation," the tower spirit replied. "Oh, that's easy. I will do that for sure," Yang Wu replied. "Okay, I will help you clean up the people here. They don't deserve to stay here. I'm the owner of this place. Does it mean that I have the final say on who stays and who leaves?" "Of course." "Okay, then let me take a look. I need a few people to stay." There were 5 inheritance towers, but there was only one tower spirit. They could merge together at any time. He was the owner of this place, and he could see every corner of it. A mirror appeared in front of Yang Wu, and Yang Wu could see what was happening on every floor. There weren't many people left in the Medicine God Palace. There was a time limit for each level in each inheritance tower. It had been more than 4 months since the tower opened. Yang Wu stayed on the first floor for a month, the second floor for 10 days, the third floor for half a month, the fourth floor for 7 days, and the last floor for 2 months. He spent most of his time on alchemy. After 4 months, the people on the first, second, and third floors had been teleported out. Only those who could make it to the fourth floor were qualified to stay. Yang Wu's gaze was mainly on the mountains on the third and fourth floors. Because of him, his followers were not teleported out. They were still on the third floor. They were looking for their own opportunities and were doing well. There were still some people who made it to the fourth floor. They were Xinyuan Shi, Yao Sudong, Dan Yinxiao, Yao Wushuang, Dan Li, Chao Jifei, Yao Miao Miao, Dan Zi, and Miao Miao. There is also an old acquaintance of Yang Wu, Gu Qing. He He was a genius alchemist from the Hung Mountain School. There were also more than a dozen alchemists who did not show their talents. At this time, Yang Wu's gaze fell on Gu Qing. This guy was surrounded by Yao Wushuang's people. "Send me here first." Yang Wu anxiously pointed in Gu Qing's direction. "Okay." The tower spirit responded and sent Yang Wu to where Gu Qing was. At this time, there were not many people left around Gu Qing. Everyone was injured. Aside from Gu Qing, there was also Dan Zi. Her followers were almost all dead. The two of them had met by accident, got to know each other, and then went through the levels together. When they reached the 4th level, they met Yao Wushuang, and Yao Wushuang found out that they knew Yang Wu, so she decided to get rid of them. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame yourself for knowing Yang Wu. Remember not to make friends in your next life. Yao Wushuang said coldly. He paused for a moment before continuing. Leave Yang Wu's disciple behind. Let her have some fun before she dies, so that she won't feel empty when she reaches the Yellow Springs. Yao Sudong, who was beside Yao Wushuang, did not say anything. He only watched coldly. In his opinion, Yao Wushuang could do whatever he wanted. After all, he was the future successor of the medicine sect. If Yang Wu did not appear, he would be the successor of the Alchemist Alliance. These people who knew Yang Wu deserved to be killed. You must be jealous of my master. Otherwise, you wouldn't take revenge on us like this. Dan Zi calmly looked at Yao Wushuang. Yao Wushuang's face was somewhat ferocious as he said, "Lowly servant, who would be jealous of your master? In my eyes, he is nothing but a fart. If you aren't jealous of my master, why do you have to treat us like this? I know that Senior Sister Chow likes my master and even has a marriage agreement with him. You hate her because of love. You are truly a vile person." Dan Yang replied, "Ha, you will soon become the plaything of a vile person like me. Yet you still dare to be so arrogant. What are you all still standing there for? Kill them all and leave the girl alive. I will teach her how to be a well-behaved woman." Yao Wushuang laughed nastily. Yao Wushuang and Yao Sudong's followers were stronger than Dan Zi and Gu Qing's followers. The situation was clear. Gu Qing stood in front of Dan Zi and resolutely said, "I'm a friend of the same generation as your Shizuan, but today I cannot protect your life, so I'll be the first to die. When I reach the Yellow Springs, I will not be ashamed to face Yang Wu." Dan Zi looked at Gu Qing, who stood in front of her, and was moved. This feeling was somewhat different from how she treated her master. Since it has come to this, then there is no need to hold back. Dan Zi shouted in her heart. A thick pink flame floated around her body, and an extremely powerful aura burst forth from her body. Yao Sudong sensed that something was wrong and immediately shouted, "Kill that girl first, quick! Great-grandfather, didn't you say you would leave her alive for me?" Yao Wushuang asked, "Leave my ass. Her body is strange. If we don't get rid of her, we will all be in danger." Yao Sudong shouted. Yao Sudong's followers obeyed Yao Sudong's words. A peak saint raised a spear and stabbed towards Dan Zi. Gu Qing's strength was limited. He had only just stepped into the dragon transformation realm. He could not protect Dan Zi at all. He was the one being protected. A high-level saint beside Dan Zi rushed out and stood in front of the peak saint. He shouted, "If your medicine sect dares to touch our young miss, our family will not rest until you are dead. You talk too much." The peak saint's spear mercilessly pierced the high-level saint's chest. Before he could kill the high-level saint, a pink flame vine lashed out at him. "Do you really think we are weak? Today, I will let you know the taste of despair." Dan Zi seemed to be possessed by a demon. She roared and rushed towards the peak saint. Pink vine whips lashed out, beating the peak saint to the point that he could only parry. Dan Zi's strength skyrocketed. Everyone was shocked. Yao Sudong and Yao Wushuang's followers all surrounded Dan Zi. Over 10 saints joined forces, and an earth-shattering power enveloped Dan Zi. Dan Zi had fused with the peach-pink flame, and the explosive power she could unleash was very strong. However, her physical body was limited in the amount of power she could withstand. She could not unleash her full power. She could protect herself, but she did not have the ability to kill these saints in one go. Dan Zi seemed to have gone crazy. She unleashed the power of the pink flame. After one of the saints touched the pink flame, he was burned to ashes. The power of the deity-level pink flame was not something a saint could easily escape. If you don't stop, I will kill this person first. Yao Wushuang was very despicable. He grabbed Gu Qing and threatened him. Danzi's heart was in a mess. She was surrounded by several saints. She spat out blood and was sent flying. "Ha! Obediently surrender." Yao Wushuang laughed proudly. At that moment, a voice rang out. "You dare to hurt my disciple. Even if you kneel and beg for mercy, I will not let you go." Chapter 1267. When Yao Wushuang heard this sudden voice, she shuddered and couldn't help but loosen her grip on Gu Qing. Gu Qing took the opportunity to slip away, and Yao Wushuang did not stop him. However, one of his followers struck out a palm at Gu Qing. The power of a saint's palm was enough to shatter Gu Qing. However, before the saint's palm strike could reach Gu Qing, it was neutralized by another force. Furthermore, a portion of the force was diverted to attack Gu Qing. Pung! The high-level saint turned into a pool of blood on the spot and splashed all over Yao Wushuang. At the same time, the people besieging Danzi were struck by an invisible attack. The icy cold wing blades slashed at them. The wing blades were extremely sharp, comparable to peak saint weapons. Moreover, the speed of the attack was extremely shocking. When the wing blades slashed past, a saint would be sliced in half. Blood splattered across the ground. In the blink of an eye, 3 saints were mysteriously killed. The people surrounding Danzi were so scared that they all activated their strongest defenses and sensed the changes in their surroundings, ready for a sneak attack at any time. A handsome man suddenly appeared on the battlefield. He stood in the air and had an outstanding temperament, like an immortal. Any girl who saw him would be infatuated. Yao Wushuang stared at the newcomer and gritted his teeth. "Yang Wu, you dare to kill my people. Not only do I want to kill your people, but I also want to kill you." Yang Wu looked at Yao Wushuang calmly. Yao Sudong quickly said, "Saint Master Yang Wu, don't be rash. Let's talk things out. We're all family, so there's no need to hurt each other." Yang Wu ignored Yao Sudong's words and looked at Danzi and Gu Qing with guilt. "I've implicated you." "Master." Danzi rushed towards Yang Wu and her restless heart calmed down. "If you had come a little later, we would have been waiting for you on the road to the underworld." Gu Qing saw Yang Wu again and could not help but smile bitterly. "Sorry, I'll give you an explanation for this. Send them to the underworld first." Yang Wu smiled faintly. In the next moment, he attacked Yao Shuyang and Yao Wushuang's followers. He didn't utilize the nether ice wing blades anymore, and he attacked with his bare hands instead. When he punched out, it was like a black tortoise had appeared in the world, yet it was also like a true dragon soaring into the sky, and it was extremely mighty and domineering. Not far away, a sage was engulfed by the fist that came out of nowhere before he could react. The next moment, he turned into a pool of blood. At the same time, several more punches were thrown out. Fist was torrential and swept out in all directions. Kill! These sages would not sit still and wait for death. After roaring, they joined forces to attack Yang Wu. Before their attacks could land on Yang Wu's fists smashed them apart. Several more people were killed by Yang Wu's fists. Only 4 peak Saint Realm experts were left. They could barely block Yang Wu's fists. Green Dragon Sword. The sky was filled with snow, shaking mountains and rolling rocks. Merciless Storm. These 4 sages activated their most powerful combat power and formed a sky full of attacks. They blocked Yang Wu's fists and tried to strangle Yang Wu to death. There were green dragons holding swords in their mouths as they stabbed out. There were snowflakes that shot out like thousands of hidden weapons. There were also rolling rocks that smashed out. There was also a boundless storm mixed in. Wave after wave of attacks were filled with destructive power. Barbaric God's arms. Wind God's legs. Yang Wu activated his 2 innate divine abilities. His 2 arms turned into 2 domineering dragons that carried the chi of the divine tomb to rob his opponent of their vitality. They collided with the powerful attacks, and boundless energy surged out. At the same time, he also kicked out a formless storm of wind blades. The shadows of his kicks filled the sky, and the space around him completely collapsed. These two talents had reached a deeper level of the second stage. The power that they could unleash was really amazing. Yang Wu already had the combat power of someone who was half a step into the heavenly arrival realm. After he enlarged his body and activated his great success holy body, he could even fight with ordinary heavenly arrival realm experts. How could these peak sages be his opponents? They only felt a black tortoise and a true dragon's might in the sky. Their souls were strongly suppressed, and their combat power was less than 70% of their usual strength. They kept vomiting blood after being hit by the opponent's arms and legs. Yang Wu tore through these sages like a dragon. He even ignored the opponent's talents. The defense of the black tortoise armor could be said to be unparalleled in the world. One person's chest was directly shattered, another person's face was blasted open, and another person's body was covered in wounds from the wind blades. Even if they had armor, it was useless. When these four sages were smashed in different directions, Yao Wushuang and Yao Sudong were already frightened. They turned around and ran without hesitation. They were afraid that they would die if they were a little slower. In fact, it didn't matter how fast they ran. Yang Wu stretched out a palm that covered the sky and directly slapped them down from the sky. Yang Wu quickly grabbed them and brought them over. Yang Wu, don't mess around, Yao Sudong quickly shouted. We are all members of the Alliance. The rules of the Alliance forbid us from killing each other. Yao Wushuang reluctantly tore open a divine decree. His face was ferocious as he said, with the great ancestor here, don't even think about killing me. Unfortunately, before he could fully open the divine decree, a blade-like finger light swept over and smashed his palm. The divine decree was blasted far away. Ah! Yao Wushuang screamed in pain as he covered his smashed palm. Yang Wu rushed over, raised his palm, and slapped him hard in the face. Ha! A piece of trash like you dares to be arrogant in front of this young master. I have endured you for a long time, Yang Wu loudly shouted. In the next moment, Yang Wu continuously slapped Yao Wushuang's face until his handsome face swelled like a pig's head. Yao Sudong watched from the side, not daring to let out a fart. He could only pray for his own fortune and hope that Yang Wu would let them go after venting his anger. Dan Zi and Gu Qing watched from not far away, feeling extremely satisfied. Beat this perverted thief to death, Dan Zi happily shouted. Truly satisfying. Gu Qing vented his anger. Yang Wu stopped and kicked Yao Wushuang in front of Dan Zi, and Gu Qing apologized to them. Yao Wushuang no longer dared to be arrogant as he knelt and kowtowed. Please let me go. I offended the two of you in a moment of stupor. I won't do it again. How could Dan Zi let him go so easily? If my master didn't appear, you would have killed us. Isn't it too late to beg for mercy now? Yang Wu, don't worry. From today onwards, I won't dare to find trouble with you. Yao Wushuang promised while crying Yang Wu. Yao Sudong also hurriedly bowed from the side. That's right, Saint Master Yang Wu. We admit our mistake and are willing to compensate. What do you think? Yao Sudong was also a top-notch saint alchemist. Since he admitted his mistake, he felt that he had given enough face to Yang Wu. You are quite sincere. Yang Wu lightly nodded and said. Yao Sudong was overjoyed, feeling that his little life would be saved. Bang! Without any warning, Yang Wu attacked and shattered Yao Sudong's heart with a single punch. Yao Sudong's body drew a parabola and was flung far away. He couldn't be more dead. Yao Wushuang was so scared that he peed his pants. The pungent smell of urine caused Dan Zi and Gu Qing to pinch their noses and retreat. Yang Wu, I won't dare to do it again. I won't dare to do it again. Please let me go. I'm willing to be your slave. Yao Wushuang repeatedly kowtowed to Yang Wu and begged for mercy. What awaited him was a merciless palm print that directly smashed his head. Ever since Yang Wu had arrived at the Apothecary Alliance, Yao Wushuang had been making things difficult for Yang Wu. Yang Wu had never taken revenge on him because of Yao Wushuang's powerful background. However, Yao Wushuang still tried to kill his people here. Yang Wu couldn't tolerate it anymore. So what if he was Xiang Dingtian's disciple? So what if he was the successor of the medicine sect? He would still kill him. Well done. Danzi clapped and cheered. It's good to kill him, but if word gets out, I'm afraid. Gu Qing hesitated. He knew Yao Wushuang's identity. His background was too great. If word got out, there would be endless trouble. Don't worry. It's not a big deal if 1 or 2 people die here. Yang Wu replied. He then said to Gu Qing, Brother Gu Qing, you're indeed an alchemy genius. You actually managed to reach the 4th level. It seems like it won't be long before you become a Saint Apothecary. Saint Master Yang Wu, don't say any more. My face hurts. Gu Qing touched his cheek and said, when he first met Yang Wu at the Hung Mountain sect, their alchemy skills were similar. Only a few years had passed, and Yang Wu had already left him far behind. Yang Wu's words were indeed a slap to his face. Danzi smiled and said, my master is a freak. Just ignore him. Impudent. Yang Wu glared at Danzi. He then shouted, quickly calm down and restrain your anger. Don't hurt your body. Danzi glanced at Yang Wu with hidden bitterness. She obediently sat down and regulated her breathing. The peach-pink flame had completely erupted just now, causing her a lot of hidden damage. If she didn't deal with it quickly, it would be troublesome for her to raise her strength in the future. Do you want to regulate your breathing as well? Yang Wu looked at Gu Qing and asked. Gu Qing shook his head and said, no need. Help me take a look at Elder Yuyang. I'm the one who harmed him. He's here too? Yang Wu was surprised. With a thought, he immediately saw Wang Yuyang hiding not far away. There was a big hole in his abdomen, and his aura was extremely weak. Yang Wu instantly rushed to his side and took out a 2nd-grade immortal liquid for him to drink. Wang Yuyang was Shu Yujun's Tao protector. Yang Wu had no choice but to pay attention to him. However, he didn't expect that he would follow Gu Qing to the Medicine God Palace. They hadn't seen each other on the way here. 2nd-grade immortal liquid alone wasn't enough to help Wang Yuyang recover immediately. He also took out Thunder God Elixir and fed it to Wang Yuyang. Gu Qing just came to the side and saw Yang Wu take out divine elixirs one after another. His eyes widened and he exclaimed in his heart, my goodness, he's really rich. Wang Yuyang's injuries were quickly healed with the help of the 2nd-grade immortal liquid and Thunder God Elixir. His aura that was about to disappear finally recovered. Yang Wu adjusted Wang Yuyang's posture and let him heal on his own. He believed that he would be fine soon. Yang Wu took out some more 2nd-grade immortal liquid and gave it to Gu Qing. Distribute it to the others. Gu Qing and Dan Zi only had 2 or 3 followers left. They were all injured and needed to be treated. You guys heal here first. I'll be back soon. Chapter 1268. Yang Wu returned to the Inheritance Tower and asked the pagoda's spirit to move all the unimportant people out of the Medicine God Hall. Those who had been moved out of the Medicine God Hall before the time was up were all baffled, especially those who were about to obtain a great opportunity. They cursed loudly. Damn it, I just saw a divine herb and didn't even have time to pick it. How'd it get sent out? Don't talk about you. I saw a large, sacred medicinal garden and a few divine herbs flying around. I thought I was dreaming and was about to get it, but now my dream is shattered. Everyone is fighting for their own opportunities. Why are we so unlucky? Those who were sent out included Xianyuan Shi, Huijuyang, and other famous top-notch alchemists. Their faces were ashen and they were in a bad mood. On the other hand, the few alchemists related to Yang Wu were still in the Medicine God Hall and had not been sent out. Everyone was guessing whether they had obtained an even more shocking inheritance. I'm the master of this divine hall. Do I have the final say in the rules here? Yang Wu asked the pagoda's spirit. Naturally, the pagoda's spirit replied. Then can my friends stay as long as they want? Naturally, but it's best not to do so. They are not from a Medicine God Hall and are not allowed to stay here for long. The secrets of the Medicine God Hall are not to be known to outsiders. Is there no other way? Yes, make them all your servants. This place still needs to be rearranged. If they become your servants, everything will be fine. All right, I'll think about it. After doing all this, Yang Wu appeared in front of Gu Qing and Danzi once again. Appearing and disappearing like a ghost is really scary. Gu Qing looked at Yang Wu, who suddenly appeared beside him. What are your plans next? Yang Wu asked Gu Qing. What plans can I have? When their injuries are healed, we'll leave once the time is up. In any case, they don't have the qualifications to enter the fifth inheritance tower, Gu Qing said with a trace of depression. He was already lucky to be able to enter the fourth inheritance tower. He could only hope for the fifth inheritance tower. After all, he wasn't even a sane alchemist. What do you think of this place? Yang Wu asked. Of course it's a good place, but it's a little dangerous. Do you want to stay? Who doesn't want to stay? But can they stay? If I say it's possible, then it's possible. But there's a price to pay. You make it sound like it's your territory. Yang Wu couldn't explain it too thoroughly, and it wasn't good to announce it now. He just wanted them to stay here for a few more days. If he wanted them to stay here for a long time, the people outside would be anxious. If he told them about the situation here and the news got out, even Xiang Dingtian would find trouble with him. It was better to wait a little longer. When he was a little stronger and there were not too many people who could threaten him, he would give them a chance to come here to train. Dan Zi and Wang Yuyang recovered in succession. Yang Wu chatted with them for a while. They also invited Yang Wu to search for opportunities with them. Not only were there sacred medicines here, there were also divine medicines. There were also some good things that could help alchemists improve. Every little bit counted. Yang Wu didn't mind going with them and getting some opportunities for them. In the future, this place would belong to Yang Wu. So what if he gave them these opportunities as a gift? Saint Master Yang Wu, many thanks for saving my life. Along the way, Wang Yuyang recovered the Yuyang sword's luster and cupped his hands towards Yang Wu. Now, his strength had steadily entered the third level of the Star Rune realm. It probably wouldn't be long before he entered the fourth level. This had to do with the divine liquid that Yang Wu had fed him. That power was too pure and powerful, and he was currently compressing it and slowly refining it. That's what I should do. Yang Wu smiled. Indeed, it's what I should do. When will you come to our Mount Hung to propose marriage? Our young miss can't wait. Wang Yang said. Cough, cough. This matter isn't urgent. Yang Wu's old face turned red as he replied. You're not in a hurry, but our young miss is. She suffered a lot for you. Now that you're so capable, you can't let her down. Wang Yuyang advised earnestly. Who didn't know about Yang Wu's affairs? Wang Yuyang was anxious for Shu Yujun. Yes, I won't let her down, Yang Wu said with certainty. I'm relieved to hear your words. Our sect master said that our Mount Hung will be your backing in the future. Wang Yuyang smiled. Yang Wu stayed with them for a few days and had no choice but to let them leave for the time being. When there was a chance in the future, he would let them come here to search for opportunities. Yang Wu went to the third level. Rin Xiaofeng, Nangong Shiqin, Jin Yuqin, Jin Yuhao, and Wu Simin were still there, but they were all injured. Lu Jingtian had already been sent out of this space by Yang Wu. Lu Jingtian wasn't someone who knew his place. He was too scheming and didn't have the slightest bit of loyalty. He had already obtained some good opportunities, so this trip wasn't in vain. Yang Wu didn't like this kind of follower, so he could only let him leave. The remaining people had each collected a large amount of herbs and comprehended some things in front of the stone tablets. Among them, Wu Simin had even broken through and reached the 7th level of the astral realm. Wu Simin's foundation was very strong. After fighting many fierce beasts and spirit demons, it was reasonable for her to break through with the help of the sacred medicine. Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao had also improved quite a bit. Although they hadn't broken through, their combat strength had greatly increased. Their understanding of battle techniques had deepened, especially when it came to teamwork. The most tragic one was Nangong Shiqin. This woman had been attacked by a peak saint-level fierce beast, and her foundation had been damaged. Her aura was in a mess, and it wouldn't be easy for her to recover. She would need the Holy Spring. Rin Xiaofeng was the calmest among the group. He seemed to have a backup plan, and no one knew where his trump card was. Fortunately, he wasn't an ungrateful person. Otherwise, they would have been robbed by him. When Yang Wu appeared in front of them, they were all pleasantly surprised. Greetings, my lord. Everyone bowed. When Yang Wu displayed the power of the greater success divine physique, they were so impressed by Yang Wu that they prostrated themselves before him. Thank you, Yang Wu responded. He then praised. All of you are good. It was considered good that 5 of the 10 followers who came in with him were able to stay. "My lord, these are the herbs that I collected." Ren Xiaofeng was the first to contribute his harvest. The others didn't hesitate and handed their universe rings to Yang Wu to show their loyalty. Yang Wu didn't stand on ceremony. He took their harvest and said with a smile, "Your mission is complete. Now, you can tell me what you want. I will try my best to satisfy you." It was time to reward them based on their contributions. Nangong Shiqin beat him to it and said, "My lord, I just want to live." Nangong Shiqin was a widow, and she also cherished her life. She didn't want to die yet. Although she wasn't seriously injured, wouldn't her enemies want to kill her when she went outside? "From now on, your life is mine. Without my permission, no one will dare to kill you," Yang Wu said faintly and gave her a second-grade immortal liquid. In his heart, Nangong Shiqin was a good woman. It wasn't that he had any improper thoughts about her, but that she had a true heart. "Thank you, my lord," Nangong Shiqin said gratefully. As a woman, she had to find a backer. If she could find a powerful and pleasing backer, why not? She was thinking that after she went out, she would find time to sleep with her lord and feel more at ease. Who said widows weren't lonely? "My lord, when you become a divine apothecary, I hope to get a condensing moon pill," Ren Xiaofeng said expectantly. He paused for a moment before saying, "I will do my best to prepare the ingredients." The condensing moon pill was a divine pill that could lead one to the Jade Moon realm. "I don't have a condensing moon pill for now, but I do have a heartless pill. Do you want it?" Yang Wu asked. Ren Xiaofeng was overjoyed. "Yes, you followed me for 100 years. Do you want a condensing moon pill?" Yang Wu asked again. "Yes." "Good. I hope you don't disappoint me. This young master has already become a divine apothecary, so I can refine the condensing moon pill at any time. However, you need to prepare the ingredients yourself. If you don't have enough, I will think of a way for you. The prerequisite is that you must be loyal to this young master. This subordinate will do anything for you," Ren Xiaofeng said excitedly. He only had one wish in this life, and that was to transform the stars into the moon, enter the heavenly ascension realm, and see immortality. Even though reaching the heavenly ascension realm might not mean immortality, he was already very satisfied. Nangong Shiqin flirted and said coquettishly, "My lord, I am also willing to follow you for as many years as you want, as long as you like my flesh." Jin Yuhao gave her a thumbs up and said with a smile, "Sister Shiqin is indeed a heroine." Jin Yuchen sighed softly and said, "It's a pity that I'm not a girl." Wu Ximin's face turned slightly red. She also wanted to confess her feelings as boldly as Nangong Shiqin, but she didn't have the guts. She still wanted to be thick-skinned. "You can follow me if you want, but I only want you to be loyal." "Who can do that? So what if you can reach the heavenly ascension realm?" Yang Wu said confidently. "We are willing to follow you, my lord," everyone said in unison. "All right, I will bring you to the 4th level. You can continue to stay here and train. You can stay here for as long as you want. No one will chase you out," Yang Wu said heroically. He wanted to establish the Marquis gang. How could he do it without some background? "My lord, have you become the owner of this place?" Wu Ximin asked with widened eyes. "I've just mastered the method to stay here. If the ferocious beasts and spirit demons here want to kill you or me, I can't stop them. You still have to be careful," Yang Wu reminded them. Then, he said, "I still have some things to do. Move together and don't split up. The 4th level is very dangerous. If you are in a desperate situation, shout my name loudly, and I can save your lives. Also, you're not allowed to go to the palace on the 4th level. There's great danger there." After saying that, he disappeared in front of them. Yang Wu had to meet with everyone he knew. There were some things that he still had to nag a little. After all, he was the owner of this place. Chapter 1269. It was a land of man-eating flowers. At first glance, it looked like a beautiful sea of flowers. Any woman who saw it would fall in love with it. But no one knew that every flower here liked to eat living creatures. Once a living creature entered, it would become food in their mouths. Chow Ji Fei, Yao Miao Miao, and Meow Meow had rushed into this sea of flowers to chase after a divine herb. In the end, they were attacked by these man-eating flowers. Fortunately, they had discovered it early and didn't go too deep. The man-eating flowers in the periphery were still at a level that they could deal with. If they went too deep, they would be in trouble. These man-eating flowers are really perverted. They even devoured the clothes on people's buttocks. They are too hooligan. Meow Meow covered his buttocks and cursed. As soon as he finished speaking, he was kicked by someone and fell directly into the man-eating flowers. Shameless thing. Chow Jifei cursed. Yao Meow Meow covered her mouth and chuckled. It doesn't matter. You won't grow a needle eye. After all, it's not that dark. Meow Meow was embarrassed to death. He didn't want to struggle anymore. Following these two women didn't give him a good mood. He couldn't help but shout, "Boss, come out and save me." A few man-eating flowers bit at him at the same time. The flowers had dense corrosive energy, which scared Meow Meow so much that he jumped up from the ground. He covered his buttocks and ran. You are about to break through to the Star Rune realm. You are still so weak. A lazy voice rang out, and a figure quietly appeared in front of the man-eating flowers. An invisible aura fluctuated, and these man-eating flowers were crushed into pieces. In the next moment, a sacred mandala flower drilled out and barged into the man-eating flowers. It was like a wolf in a flock of sheep. The man-eating flowers were so scared that they frantically ran away. "Boss, you are finally here." Meow Meow saw Yang Wu and couldn't help but pounce over to hug Yang Wu. In the end, he was kicked again and flew far away. Even Boss doesn't want me anymore. Just let me die here. It's not impossible for you to die here. Chow Jifei's voice rang out. How could that be? I was just joking. Eldest senior sister, don't be angry. You haven't seen Boss for so long, and you miss him very much. Meow Meow and I will go over there and have a good chat. Meow Meow said. Then he winked and said, This place is very desolate. It's quite suitable for a field battle. After saying that, he ran to a place not far away. Yao Meow Meow didn't move. Instead, she walked towards Yang Wu. Her swaying waist and her seductive eyes were extremely alluring. Yang Wu Gidge, why did you come so late? I missed you so much. Yao Meow Meow said softly as she leaned into Yang Wu's embrace. Unfortunately, Yang Wu didn't understand the situation and avoided her. Chow Jifei saw this, and a smile appeared on her face. She asked, Yang Wu, did you go to the 5th Inheritance Tower? Yang Wu nodded and replied, Yes. I knew it. Aside from you, no one else can reach the 5th tower. Chow Jifei sighed. Why do you say that? The 4th floor is very terrifying. There are quite a few god-level creatures roaming about. How difficult is it to get to the 5th floor? We can't even reach the main palace, let alone the 5th floor. Moreover, to get to the 5th floor, you have to pass every inheritance tower perfectly. I believe that other than you, no one else can do that. You think too highly of me. However, you guys are right not to go to the 5th floor. Yao Meow Meow rushed to ask why. Is the 5th floor even scarier? Or is there nothing there? It's a path that can lead to death, Yang Wu said solemnly. The hall on the 4th floor was indeed a dead end. If he didn't have the immortal elixir, he probably would have been crushed to death by the Saint Do tribe. Without waiting for Yao Meow Meow to ask another question, Yang Wu said, Your time is almost up. I'll meet with you guys. You can leave. I might stay here for a while. Could it be that you? Chow Jifei stared at Yang Wu with wide eyes. She didn't ask the question, but Yang Wu already understood what she wanted to ask. He nodded in response. What a heaven-defying guy. Chow Jifei sighed heavily. She then said, I won't lose to you. I've also gained a lot from the Medicine God Hall this time. It won't be long before I can reach a higher level. I'll definitely become a god-level alchemist in the future. Chow Jifei's fighting spirit was high. She still looked like an empress. Good luck. Yang Wu admired Chow Jifei's fighting spirit very much. Yao Meow Meow said with dissatisfaction, I won't lose to you guys either. After that, Yang Wu reminded them that he didn't want news of him staying here to spread. It would be best if people thought that he had died here. He had a plan in mind. Perhaps after faking his death this time, he would be able to make his enemies settle down a little. Yang Wu chatted with Meow Meow for a while. In reality, he really did want Meow Meow to stay. After some hesitation, he decided to let Meow Meow leave with him. Meow Meow didn't lack pill refinement skills. What she needed was time to increase her strength. Perhaps Meow Meowchi had better arrangements for this. Just like that, they were all arranged to leave the Medicine God Temple. The Medicine God Temple was also completely sealed off. The Inheritance Tower spirit had completely sealed off heaven and earth. It wouldn't appear again in the future. No matter how powerful a battleship was, it couldn't open a gap here. After all, the successor of the Medicine God Temple had already been found. In the outside world, 5 huge battleships had sent 500,000 people here. Now, these 5 battleships were nowhere to be found. The people who came out one after another also left. Whether or not they obtained the opportunities had nothing to do with the Medicine God Alliance. The Medicine God Alliance wouldn't snatch the opportunities of those alchemists. This was in line with the Medicine God Alliance's magnanimity. Even so, there were still many people who stayed. They were waiting for the final result. Whoever came out last would be the one who benefited the most. When Xiao Jifei, Yao Meow Meow, and Meow Meow came out, they felt that these 3 people were the ones who benefited the most from the Medicine God Temple. Xiao Jifei was famous. She was the empress who had the highest chance of succeeding the Medicine God Alliance. Yao Meow Meow was the medicine sect's holy maiden. She was born with the medicine spirit body and was compatible with all kinds of medicines. Yao Meow Meow's talent in alchemy was even greater. Meow Meow was the descendant of Meow Meowchi who had poured his heart and soul into. It was reasonable for the 3 of them to be the ones who benefited the most. It was a pity that Yang Wu and Yao Wushuang couldn't come out of the Medicine God Temple. Some people guessed that they might have died. This rumor spread like wildfire. Finally, the Medicine God Alliance confirmed Yao Wushuang's death. His soul lamp was extinguished. As for Yang Wu and the Medicine God Alliance, they didn't give an answer. However, there was an 80% to 90% chance that he was dead. After all, the Medicine God Temple was completely sealed. It wouldn't appear again. 1 month passed. 2 months passed. 3 months passed. There was no more news about Yang Wu in the Medicine God Alliance. The news of Yang Wu's death was finally confirmed. Many turbulent undercurrents began to flow slowly. In the Medicine God Alliance, in a palace, Yao Chenhuang looked at the spirited girl in front of him and asked, Yao Wushuang was killed by Yang Wu. This news can't be fake. Someone has already confirmed it. Do you know what to do? The girl played with the paper crane in her hand and answered absent-mindedly, I don't know. I'm not familiar with him. Do you really think I can kill him a few times? Besides, he's already in the Medicine God Temple forever. He's only in the Medicine God Temple. He's not really dead, right? Yao Chenhuang stared at the girl and asked seriously, Ancestor, your question is very difficult for me to answer. Although my disappointing cousin is dead, there's still me. Besides, if I can get Yang Wu, the Medicine God sect will have such a powerful son-in-law. The Medicine God sect will still be the powerful Medicine God sect, right? The girl said confidently. Ha! Now someone is begging me to deal with the family of this prospective son-in-law. Since when can the vice leader of the Medicine God Alliance meddle in the affairs of other factions? Why didn't I know? You damn child. War Race Realm's Xing family. A meeting of the upper echelons came to an end. The Xing family's saints walked out of the clan. There were even immortal realm experts who left the clan and went to different places. Some went to the Liu family, some to the Li family, and some to the Sun family. They all went to plan different things, but they all had one goal. At the top of a clock tower in the Xing family, 2 people stood side by side. The purple aura is dropping rapidly. If we don't fix it, our Xing family's foundation will be destroyed. This time, we have to uproot the Yang family and get rid of all future troubles. A bearded old man wearing a black robe said faintly as he looked at the large clan. Right now, our Xing family is like the sun in the sky. With the ancestors' strength improving, we are at our peak. Why is the purple aura constantly dropping? Is this abnormal situation really caused by the Yang family? The middle-aged man with an extraordinary aura asked. Since ancient times, water and fire have been incompatible with each other. When the Yang family was at its peak, our Xing family avoided its sharp edge. When the Yang family declined, our Xing family took advantage of the situation and rose up. After many years, our Xing family finally came into existence. Unfortunately, we didn't break the agreement between the War clan and the Yang family. This time, we have to go all the way. We can't let the power of water overwhelm the fire that we have accumulated with great difficulty. Otherwise, we will walk the path of the Yang family's decline. After all, water restrains fire. This is an unchangeable law since ancient times. If the Yang family is destroyed, then so be it. Other than Gong Salon, they don't have anyone else who can stand on the stage. That Yang Taizu was delayed for thousands of years. It won't be easy to make up for the loss of time. Even Yang Wu, who just appeared a few years ago, didn't live long enough and lost his life in the Medicine God Palace. I just don't understand what is wrong with our Xing family. Could it be that I am not good enough as the patriarch and am not blessed by the heavens? When it comes to luck, it is uncertain. There is no need to be too stubborn. Let this be a warning. From today onwards, we will focus on nurturing the character of the younger generation of the Xing family. These years, they have been too arrogant, so much so that they have forgotten how our Xing family rose. Chapter 1270. Inside the Medicine God Palace. This was an unknown space that had been sealed off by a powerful being's restriction, forming a world of its own. The 5 layers of the mountain range were clearly separated. The 5 inheritance towers had already merged into one, becoming a 33-story tower. This was the final appearance of the inheritance tower. The first 4 levels each had 5 levels, and the last level only had 3. When stacked together, there were only 23 levels. But why did it become a tower with 33 levels? Yang Wu asked the tower spirit, and the tower spirit replied, "The last 10 levels are the higher-level inheritances of the Medicine God Palace." According to the tower spirit, he was only a beginner moon-class disciple, and he still had a lot to learn. The last 10 levels were only open to moon-class disciples, but they had to have the corresponding ability to go up. After the Medicine God Palace closed up, Yang Wu stayed in this space. He wanted to get rid of the troubles of the mortal world and consolidate his godly pharmacist realm. Also, he wanted to build a good relationship with the Fox Girl. The Fox Girl's name was Yu Huaijin. She was a suppressed god. 10,000 years ago, when she discovered this space, she wanted to take it for herself. Who would have thought that she would be suppressed here by the will of the Medicine God Temple? Her soul was captured and her body was preserved. She was only waiting for the disciple who obtained the inheritance to come and make her the guardian of that disciple. This also benefited Yang Wu. Yang Wu used the soul recovery pill to save Yu Huaijin, but Yu Huaijin was not grateful at all. She was not dead, and as long as the inheritance tower released her soul, she would be able to revive immediately. Yu Huaijin did not like Yang Wu at all. Even if Yang Wu controlled her soul, she did not want to lower herself to follow such a weak master. Moreover, her origin was not ordinary, so how could she be willing to submit to such a lowly human? Therefore, Yu Huaijin was still suppressed in the ice coffin, and she could not come out of the inheritance tower. Yang Wu seemed to have forgotten about her existence, and he was practicing the simplified palm technique and soul tactics. Although it seemed easy to cultivate the simplified palm technique, it was actually not easy. There were many variations in the palm technique. Everyone had different comprehensions and grasped different variations. Yang Wu practiced his palms for 4 hours during the day, controlling a flame formed from a strand of star energy, not his own heart flame. If he could cultivate a flame that was not his own heart flame to the extreme, then he would have completed his apprenticeship. On the 24th floor of the Inheritance Tower, there was a cultivation space. There was a huge cauldron here with countless herbs for him to squander. His mission was to refine 1,000,000 herbs within 3 months. Even though these were all low-grade herbs, their value was still astonishing. The purity of each herb had to be at least 90% to meet the requirements. In the past 3 months, Yang Wu had been slowly refining countless herbs every day. He did not deliberately pursue speed, but instead focused on comprehending the palm technique. Every day after he finished concocting medicine, he would meditate and cultivate the soul tactics. There were 3 levels: heaven, earth, and man. Each level corresponded to a different soul power and usage. Based on the estimation of the soul illumination technique stage, his current soul power was only at the earth soul stage and had not reached the heaven soul stage. This soul control heart sutra that little Hay had passed on to him was a very powerful soul cultivation technique, but it was still not as advanced as the soul tactics. Reaching the heaven soul stage, one could envelop heaven and earth, control the heavens with one's soul, and become the master of heaven and earth. How terrifying was that? Now that Yang Wu was in the earth soul stage, he could fight outside his body, but there was still a long way to go before reaching the heaven soul stage. To reach the heaven soul stage, one had to continuously strengthen one's soul until it could envelop a piece of land. Soul Anywhere was the heaven soul stage. Yang Wu had condensed a soul embryo, which had a great effect on reaching the heaven soul stage. Moreover, he also had a black demon lightning orb, which could refine the soul embryo at any time. However, this was far from enough. He still had to go to the 4th floor of Mount Fire Dragon to refine it. There were 7 types of quasi-divine fires in Mount Fire Dragon. They were the Red Flame, Giant Scorpion Fire, Trimeteor Fire, Color Glass Fire, Ghost Fire, Purple Sun Fire, and Hellfire. These 7 quasi-divine fires were devouring each other and would eventually form an extremely powerful divine fire. Yang Wu had the Heart Fire Blue Enchantress. Once he approached them, he would definitely be sensed by them, and it was possible that they would devour him. Yang Wu could only use his out-of-body soul embryo to get close to Mount Fire Dragon to refine it. This kind of refinement was also very simple. As long as he continuously used fire power to exhaust his soul power, he would be able to recover his soul power again. Then, he would slowly adapt to the burning of the fire power and reach the stage where thunder and fire could not invade him. He would refine an extremely powerful Yang soul. In the future, when his soul fought outside his body, he would not be afraid of being restrained by thunder and fire. As everyone knew, the soul was afraid of the power of the strongest Yang soul. This was because the soul was born as a Yin soul, and it was extremely difficult to become a Yang soul. The pain of refining the soul was not any worse than refining the body. Every time, Yang Wu's soul was tormented to the point where it almost collapsed. If there was an external force that casually touched it, he would probably be completely finished. Every time he was forced into such a dangerous situation, Yang Wu's soul would return to the divine court and be nourished by the Soul Control Heart Sutra. The healing part of the Soul Control Heart Sutra was better than the soul tactics. The soul tactics paid more attention to the state of attack and defense. The most important thing for a famous alchemist was to control fire and soul power. Yang Wu wanted to consolidate his realm as a divine alchemist, so it was right to concentrate on consolidating it. In the past 2 years, his realm had risen too quickly, so he took the opportunity to consolidate it and experience it. Sometimes, slowing down one's pace of improvement might not be a bad thing. This was also the reason why he was not in a hurry to find another kind of profound essence chi when Little Hay asked him to find it after leaving Mount Sacred Transformation. In these 3 months, Yang Wu also did something else, and that was to visualize the Shinnong painting while sitting. The Shinnong painting was something he had sensed in the first inheritance tower. Later on, when he worshipped the Shinnong statue in the 3rd hall, he seemed to have sensed it, and the Shinnong painting became alive. Every time he visualized it, Yang Wu seemed to see the Shinnong looking for medicine, testing medicine, refining medicine. After each visualization, he would gain a lot, and his soul power would increase very quickly. In these 3 months, I have already familiarized myself with the simplified palm technique, and my soul power has also increased a lot. It's time to try refining a divine pill. Yang Wu finished his 3 months of cultivation and planned to refine another divine pill. Since the last time he refined a batch of soul recovery divine pills for Yu Huijin, he had not refined another divine pill. At that time, his success rate was not very high. Yang Wu summoned the Inheritance Tower. I want to refine another divine pill. Then go ahead. The recipes are all in the Inheritance Palace. The tower's spirit replied. The Inheritance Palace was the 5th floor of the Inheritance Palace. There were a lot of divine pill recipes there, including many that had been lost for a long time. There were also a lot of divine pill recipes that Little Hay did not pass down to him. There's no need to rush the pill formula. Can you give me some herbs to practice first? Yang Wu rubbed his hands and asked with an embarrassed look on his face. Yang Wu had a lot of divine pill recipes, and there was no need to go to the Inheritance Palace to check them. He asked the Inheritance Tower to take out a lot of herbs for him to use in refining divine pills. The tower spirit was very powerful, and it controlled this space. He thought that it would not be difficult for it to get some herbs. The tower spirit replied, there are a lot of herbs in the mountain range, and there are even more divine pills. You have to pick them yourself. I can't do it for you. I'm only responsible for the test. Yang Wu said with a drooping face, there are so many powerful creatures in the mountain range. It's very dangerous. As a moon-class disciple, you have to endure this kind of training before you can improve. Otherwise, you will be eliminated in the temple. The tower spirit replied. It paused for a moment before saying, why don't you go and tame the fox girl, or find a way to make the Saint Doe tribe creature on the 4th floor work for you? They will definitely be able to help you. Otherwise, you will have to find them yourself. Yang Wu was troubled. If the fox girl was so easy to tame, he would have done a long time ago. She would rather lie in the freezer than come out to help him. As for the Saint Doe tribe creature, he could forget about it. That creature was most likely only more powerful than the fox girl. He did not even dare to meet that creature in case he was killed. Looks like I can only use my handsome face. Yang Wu sighed lightly. Thus, he went to the floor where the fox girl was and arrived in front of this icy beauty. The fox girl was really very beautiful. Not only was her face seductive, but her figure was also very seductive. She was fat where she should be, thin where she should be. There was not a single extra spot on her body. She lay in the freezer, and the part of her body that was exposed to the air was as smooth as water. It was filled with boundless temptation. During these 3 months, Yang Wu would occasionally take the time to visit her, but he did not speak to her. He wanted to temper her, but who would have thought that she did not even put him in her eyes and continued to lie there with her eyes closed? The Inheritance Tower's level was too high, and her origin soul was incomplete. She was unable to escape the Inheritance Tower suppression. Yang Wu saw the fox girl's body and did not say anything. He reached out his hand toward the fox girl's soft face. What are you doing? Yu Huaijin did not wait for Yang Wu's hand to touch her face. Her eyes opened, and her gaze was like a sharp blade that pierced Yang Wu. It was filled with a strong warning. It was as if she would cut Yang Wu into 1,000 pieces if Yang Wu touched her. Yang Wu's lips curled into a cold smile. What do I want to do? Of course I want to *CKU. Yang Wu's words were extremely rough, unlike his usual self. You dare. Yu Huaijin's anger overflowed. She was a dignified deity realm expert, but she was actually being teased by a little sage realm ant. How could she not be angry? Why wouldn't I dare? You are so beautiful, and your figure is so good. As long as it is a normal man, they would not be able to resist your temptation. Moreover, you have been lying here all this time, not willing to get up. Aren't you hoping that I will *CK you? I will fulfill your wish. Yang Wu said, and his hand landed on Yu Huaijin's face. Yu Huaijin's eyes were about to burst into flames. Yang Wu's hand did not stop there. He continued to touch her neck and said, TSK, your skin is so soft and tender, even softer than a baby's. It feels so good. Bastard, what do you want? When she saw that Yang Wu's hand was about to touch her sensitive area, she loudly questioned, obediently submit to me, and you can still keep your pure body. Otherwise, not only will I *CK you, but I will also make you wish you were dead. Don't think that I am joking. I don't have the patience to waste time with you. Chapter 1271. Yu Huaijin compromised. She had been suppressed for 10,000 years, which delayed her golden cultivation time. She didn't want to waste any more time. Ever since she woke up, She had thought of many ways to break free from the suppression of the inheritance tower. Unfortunately, it was useless. This was a mysterious space opened by an Almighty, and there was the suppression of that Almighty's willpower. Moreover, that Almighty might still be alive, so she couldn't resist at all. Since she couldn't break free, then she would negotiate with this brat. She didn't want to be taken advantage of and lose her life. It wasn't worth it. However, she despised Yang Wu for being too weak. She wasn't willing to submit to him just like that, so she had to negotiate. Your strength is too weak. It's very difficult for me to willingly submit to you. If you return the rest of my soul to me, I will definitely submit to you. Furthermore, I will also teach you a deity-level cultivation technique to help you become even stronger. How about it? Do I look like an idiot to you? All right. I will teach you a unique technique that can charm the world. At that time, there will be countless beauties throwing themselves at you. How about you take me out of this broken tower first? I'm already very handsome, and there are many girls throwing themselves at me. I don't want to learn your technique. Show me some sincerity. I don't have time to waste with you. Yang Wu replied while caressing Yu Huaijin. His palm slid to her soft area many times, causing her face to turn red. Unfortunately, she couldn't move. She hated Yang Wu to the core. All right, I am willing to submit to you, but you must give me a time limit. If you want me to be your servant for the rest of my life, I would rather die. Yu Huaijin said resolutely. Yang Wu smiled and raised a finger. Without waiting for him to speak, Yu Huaijin said excitedly, 10,000 years? Impossible, at most 1,000 years. Otherwise, I would rather die. All right, deal. Yang Wu replied without hesitation. He originally wanted to say 100 years. The inheritance tower had said the same thing before, but who knew that she would misunderstand? 1,000 years was also not bad. Yu Huaijin instantly understood that she had been tricked, but she was not upset. In any case, 1,000 years was not a long time for her. As long as she regained her freedom, she had a way to make this brat suffer. Yang Wu was not stupid. He wanted Yu Huaijin to swear before he would let her go. Yu Huaijin was so angry that she clenched her teeth, but she had no choice but to do as Yang Wu said. After swearing an extremely vicious oath, Yang Wu asked the inheritance tower to let her go. Yu Huaijin was no longer restrained and instantly bounced out of the freezer. His powerful aura sent Yang Wu flying towards the wall of the tower. Puff! Yu Huaijin's aura was too terrifying. Yang Wu was caught off guard and spat out blood. In the next moment, Yu Huaijin's powerful leg kicked towards Yang Wu, aiming for Yang Wu's chest. Impudent, shouted the tower spirit. Immediately, a binding power came towards Yu Huaijin. Puff! This time, it was Yu Huaijin's turn to vomit blood. She even fell back towards the ice coffin. I was just joking. Who knew you would be so weak? Huh? Yu Huaijin laughed as she fell back into the ice coffin. Do you really want to die? Yang Wu climbed up and shouted angrily. This woman was much stronger than him. If they really went outside, it was possible that she would kill him. Of course not. This servant's heart aches for you. From now on, you are this servant's master. This servant will do anything for you. Yu Huaijin's voice was like the sound of a zither. Yang Wu could not help but have a trace of fantasies about her. He walked over with large strides and pressed his hand on the woman's firm place. He fiercely grabbed it. Do you really think I don't dare to touch you? In here, you are just a woman that can be slaughtered by me. Let go. This servant will listen to you in the future. If I dare to hurt you again, this servant will be ridden to death by 10,000 people. Yu Huaijin swore again. I feel like if I turn you into my woman, you will be more obedient. Yang Wu revealed a fanatical expression. This time, Yu Huaijin's expression became extremely flustered. Just as she thought that Yang Wu was really going to do something to her, Yang Wu turned his head and said to the tower spirit, "Let her go." The tower spirit still followed Yang Wu's orders and let Yu Huaijin go. This time, Yu Huaijin did not act impudently. However, Yang Wu also disappeared from the inheritance tower. This guy really holds a grudge. Yu Huaijin covered her chest and said shyly, even though she did not need to sleep in the ice coffin, she could not leave the inheritance tower. Yongwu was determined to continue tormenting her. In reality, Yongwu did not plan to do that. He entered the upper level and sat down. He used the pet control curse on Yu Huai Jin's origin soul. Since this woman did not know what was good for her, then he would make her know what was good for her. You want to control me? Another part of Yu Huai Jin's origin soul exclaimed. Congratulations on the correct answer. Unfortunately, there is no reward. Yongwu replied. More and more pet control curses flew towards Yu Huai Jin's soul. This part of Yu Huai Jin's soul was controlled by the little soul bell. Yongwu's power could attack it at any time, but Yu Huai Jin's power could not break through the little soul bell's restrictions. When the pet control curses rushed in, she continuously attacked and broke them. Little thief, don't mess around. Otherwise, when I get out, I will not forgive you. Yu Huai Jin threatened. Yongwu ignored her and controlled more pet control curses to rush in. He had to control her, who knew that he still could not do it. Her soul power was too strong. Looks like I can only use the black demon lightning orb. Yongwu muttered and controlled the black demon lightning orb to get closer to Yu Huai Jin. This time, Yu Huai Jin was completely frightened. Don't be like this. I'm already willing to submit to you. I won't play any more tricks. Trust me, I will definitely satisfy you and help you become an even more outstanding alchemist. Don't mess around. I am a Moon Fox Clan's goddess. As long as you let me go, you will receive the help of our Moon Fox Clan in the future. Yu Huai Jin was completely shocked by Yongwu. The black demon lightning orb's power was enough to destroy her soul. It made her feel the threat of death. Yongwu smiled with satisfaction. Remember, your little life is in my hands. If you dare mess around, I will not be merciful. Don't worry, I accept my fate. I will stay by your side for 1,000 years. Yu Huai Jin completely gave up. Rather than wasting time like this, it was better to accept her fate and find a way out in the future. Yongwu once again appeared in Yu Huai Jin's true body and brought her out of the inheritance tower. Yu Huai Jin did not play any more tricks. I want to refine a god pill. I need a large amount of god medicine. Go find it for me. Yongwu ordered Yu Huai Jin. Yes, master. Yu Huai Jin stretched his waist, took a deep breath of the outside air, and replied faintly. Don't go to the 4th floor's main palace. There might be people you can't afford to offend there. Yongwu reminded. Okay. Yu Huai Jin laughed disapprovingly and disappeared in front of Yongwu. Yongwu smiled. He did not care if she would run into the St. Do clan's beings. In fact, he said that on purpose. If they ran into each other, what would the scene be like? It must be very intense. Yongwu put his hands behind his head and slowly walked towards the 5th floor's palace. The 5th floor's palace was the main palace of the inheritance ground. Most of the inheritance was left here. There were 100,000 high-level pill recipes, ranging from ordinary low-level pills to top-level true god pill recipes. There are also many lost pill recipes and many incomplete pill recipes. There are also thousands of soul cultivation secret techniques. Although they could not be compared to the soul tactics, they were of a higher level than most of the soul secret techniques in the outside world. There are also many books on controlling fire and refining pills. It was a real treasure trove. There were 3 god cauldrons left here. Each one was of a higher level than the last. Any alchemist would go crazy after seeing them. There were also 7 types of flame seeds sealed here. Refining them would allow one to obtain a high-level true fire that could be upgraded infinitely. There were also dozens of god flame stones, enough to upgrade the flames to god flames. Yongwu stepped into the library and began to flip through the books here. He was not in a hurry to look at the pill recipes. He already had many pill recipes in his mind, and there was no lack of god-level pill recipes. What he lacked was knowledge in other areas. There were some miscellaneous notes here that recorded the situation of the other realms of Earthstar. Earthstar had the Demon Realm, Yao Realm, Ghost Realm, God Realm, and the legendary Celestial Realm. The Transcendent Realm belonged to the Human Realm. Together with the other 5 realms, they were known as the 6 Realms. Each realm was in a different space on Earthstar. Different living beings lived there. Human beings could break through the restrictions of the Transcendent Realm and enter the God Realm. That was a large world, a heaven on earth. Ancient human gods lived there, and they had the Tao of immortality. Above the god realm, there was the illusory celestial realm. It was said that there were immortal beings there. They were even above the gods. That was the place where immortal beings of all races gathered. Yang Wu looked at the records and the miscellaneous notes and realized how small he was. He also understood that Little Hei's origin was astonishing. If she did not come from the celestial realm, then she was at least a creature from the god realm. He understood these records and also understood that there were higher levels in the Tao of alchemy. According to the division of the highest realms, ordinary divine alchemists were only moon-level alchemists or false god-level alchemists. They represented the jade, moon-level alchemists. Above the jade moon level was the 9-yang level. Corresponding to this level were the yang-level alchemists. They were the true god-level alchemists. Above them were the legendary celestial-level alchemists. There is always someone better than you. The path of cultivation is incomparably long. If you want to achieve immortality, you still need to work hard. Yang Wu sighed. For the next half a month, he quietly read books here. His harvest was very great, and it also opened up his deeper ambitions. He wanted to go to the god realm to see what the gods looked like. He wanted to prove that he could live forever. He wanted to see if he could really live forever and have a boundless lifespan. He wanted to see if that place was a peaceful and pure land that people yearned for. Before that, he had to solve the problem in front of him first. He needed to consolidate his identity as a divine alchemist, strengthen his family, marry his lover, and find his younger brother. These were the things he needed to do urgently. His family would always be the #1 priority in his heart. To hell with pursuing immortality. Chapter 1272. On the 4th floor of the Medicine God Temple, Yu Huijin clashed with the Saint Clan. Saint Clan, I didn't think someone like you would be trapped here. Yu Huijin sat on an old tree trunk and swung her long, white legs as she looked at the Saint Do tribe and said, the Saint Clan member was no longer refining medicine. He was refining the medicinal properties of the medicine to increase his strength. That pot of great medicine that he had been refining for 10,000 years was indeed no small matter. It had helped him increase his strength by quite a bit. Unfortunately, it was still unable to help him break through. He believed that this world was incomplete and was suppressing his great Tao. He had to leave this place in order to break through. This place was like a prison to them. It was easy to enter, but difficult to leave. However, the Saint Clan member already had a plan. It wouldn't be difficult for him to leave. He wasn't in a hurry to leave. He wanted to figure out some things before leaving. Yu Huijin's arrival didn't cause the Saint Clan member to be too concerned. He said faintly, it's not easy for a little girl who came in 10,000 years ago to still be alive. You know me? Yu Huijin was shocked. You want to steal the Medicine God Temple's inheritance. How could I not know you? The Saint Clan member snorted. Yu Huijin said unhappily, I only came here by accident. I don't care about the Medicine God Temple's inheritance. My Fox Moon clan isn't good at refining pills. Sophistry. The Saint Clan member disdained to argue with Yu Huijin. Yu Huijin asked, why are you here? Are you also from the Medicine God Temple? Or did you come here by accident like me? Mind your own business. Hurry up and scram. Don't provoke me. The Saint Clan member didn't hold back at all. Don't take advantage of your seniority. It's hard to say who's old. Then let me see what you're capable of. Yu Huijin attacked the Saint Clan member. In the end, she flew away alone. She was sent flying by a single punch from the Saint Clan member. Blood splattered all over the sky. How can I become a young great alchemist? I've already learned all the inheritances left in this broken place, but why can't I take that step? Looks like it's time to leave this place. The Saint Do clan being didn't place Yu Huijin in his eyes at all. He sighed softly and said, that brat obtained the inheritance tower's true inheritance. Perhaps he has the ability to become a yang-level alchemist. I'll capture him later and ask him. Yu Huijin smashed into a mountain in the distance. A corner of the mountain cracked from the impact. One could see how terrifying the punch from the Saint Do clan was. Yu Huijin's body was embedded in the mountain wall. Her beautiful eyes were filled with unwillingness. The gap is so big. These 10,000 years have wasted too much of my cultivation time. I have to make up for it as soon as possible. She was once an incomparably dazzling goddess of the god realm. She was on par with the top geniuses of various races. She had a chance of becoming an immortal, so she was extremely proud. Now that she had just been resurrected, not only was she bullied by a weak human, she was also sent flying by a Saint Clan being. She felt extremely humiliated. She gave up on finding trouble with the Saint Clan being. Instead, she charged into the 4th level of the mountain range to fight the vicious beasts and spirits. She needed to viciously vent. 10,000 years had wasted too much of her time. Yang Wu left the Inheritance Hall and began his own training. The Medicine God Palace had captured so many vicious beasts and spirit demons here. There were also many herbs planted in the mountains that definitely wanted to train their disciples and increase their strength. This time, Yang Wu used more soul force attacks to deal with these vicious beasts and spirit demons. His soul could control the soul-beating whip and demonic shadow needle to attack, catching these vicious beasts and spirit demons off guard. These vicious beasts and spirit demons were not so easy to kill. Their beast cores or demon cores could naturally defend against ordinary soul force attacks. Only powerful soul force attacks could break through their defenses. At this moment, Yang Wu was facing a 3-headed lion beast. This was a vicious beast that had reached the pinnacle of the Saint realm. It was guarding a few stalks of top-grade sage medicine and would not allow other living beings to take them. When Yang Wu's war soul appeared, it launched a shocking attack. The lion head in the middle roared. The left lion head's eyes exploded with golden light and shot out sharp blades. The right lion head spat out raging flames. The 3 different attacks were enough to make any pinnacle Saint realm living being unable to withstand. Yang Wu's war soul had been tempered by thunder and fire. It had soul force comparable to an ordinary god realm. He controlled the soul-beating whip and demonic shadow needle to attack. Under the control of his soul force, the 108 demon shadow needles split into 3 and pierced towards the 3-headed lion beasts. The demon shadow needles were as small as needles, and they were concealed by his soul force. They bypassed the 3-headed lion beast attacks and directly entered their beast cores. The demonic shadow needles were extremely sharp. They directly broke through their beast cores and injured their souls. They were in so much pain that they screamed and could no longer focus their attacks. Soul force attacks were the most difficult to defend against. Vicious beasts were not very intelligent and could not defend against them. The soul-beating whip took the opportunity to attack. It lashed out again and again. The formless soul force also fell into the 3-headed lion beast's mind. It directly scattered the souls in their beast cores. This process seemed to have secretly killed the 3-headed lion beast. In reality, Yang Wu's soul had also suffered a great attack. The sound waves had almost shattered Yang Wu's soul. The 2 blade-like attacks and the flame attack had also almost injured his soul. If his soul had not reacted fast enough, he would have been in danger. Out-of-body battle was very dangerous. Once the soul was destroyed, the living being would be severely injured and become demented or die directly. Yang Wu had cultivated a Yang soul, which was why he could withstand the 3-headed lion beast attacks. I still need to increase my soul force defense, Yang Wu thought to himself. He had another soul weapon. It was a demonic shield. It was one of the spoils of war he had obtained from killing demons in the past. It was a demonic shield that could defend the soul. With this demonic shield, he could fight other living beings without holding back. After fighting with vicious beasts and spirit demons again and again, Yang Wu had gained a lot of understanding of the out-of-body battle techniques. He had obtained a lot of herbs, but they were still lacking if he wanted to use them to refine divine pills. After all, there was a certain failure rate when refining divine pills. He was not 100% confident. He had to prepare more herbs. Yang Wu did not continue to train. He went directly to the 3rd floor and saw Ren Xiaofeng, Nangong Shiqin, Jin Yuchen, Jin Yuhao, and Wu Simin waiting for him. Yang Wu had asked the 5 of them to stay. They were willing to follow Yang Wu, So he gave them the opportunity to train in this space and obtain high-grade herbs. Some of the herbs could help strengthen their muscles and bones, increase their soul force, and help them comprehend battle techniques. Of course, it was not easy for them to break through in such a short time. Even the talented Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao could not do it. "Greetings, master," the five of them said in unison when they saw Yang Wu. "Give me all the herbs you obtained." Yang Wu was not polite with them. They were not surprised. Yang Wu was an alchemist. They were collecting herbs here for him. After they took out the herbs, Yang Wu took out 5 universe rings and gave them to the 5 of them. The 5 of them were puzzled. They took the universe rings and waited for Yang Wu's next instructions. "You have reached the Star Mark realm, so you all have the body tempering technique. I gave you the herbs to heal your injuries. You can practice martial arts with each other and train to your heart's content. After you're seriously injured, you can soak in the medicinal liquid again. It can help your saint body become stronger," Yang Wu said faintly. Now that the 5 of them had followed him, he had to think for them and help them become stronger. If the 5 heroes of the proud sword were still by his side, he would have a way to help them grow quickly. The 5 of them were overjoyed. "Thank you, master." They chose to follow Yang Wu, so they naturally hoped to get something in return. Ren Xiaofeng and Nangong Shiqin wanted to reach the Jade Moon realm one day. Wu Ximin wanted to go one step further. Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao wanted to be like Yang Wu. They wanted to strengthen their foundation and achieve saint body. Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao both cultivated ancient techniques. Jin Xiu also taught them the glazed diamond technique. As long as they had enough resources, they could become stronger. Yang Wu didn't mind telling them how he achieved saint body. As for whether they could achieve it or not, it would depend on their perseverance. After Ren Xiaofeng heard it, he felt that it was necessary to slow down his breakthrough to the Jade Moon realm and continue to temper his saint body. Even if it was a small success, it was still shocking enough. Maybe he could go against the heavens. In addition, Yang Wu asked them to tell him their cultivation chants. This involved the foundation of cultivation, so everyone felt that it was a bit difficult. Since you are not willing, then forget it. Yang Wu didn't want to force them. He just wanted to help them. "Master, I will pass it to you." The first to speak was Nangong Shiqin. This widow was very straightforward. Nangong Shiqin cultivated the Nangong family's unique Xian formula. Unfortunately, it wasn't the complete chance. It was probably related to her leaving the Nangong family. The Nangong family was an ancient family of the Fu family. It was as famous as the Dongfang family, Shimin family, and Baiming family. After Yang Wu obtained the chance, he activated the Regal 9 profound formula and fused it with it. He quickly deduced a more complete Xian formula. Yang Wu carefully sensed it. He still felt that this Xian formula was lacking something. He muttered to himself, "The Regal 9 profound formula can't fuse the high-level War Blood Immortal formula and Planting Immortal formula. It can only fuse these low-level Xian formulas and deduce them. However, my Regal 9 profound formula is still incomplete. Is it possible that the other Xian formulas that I have deduced are also incomplete? If my Regal 9 profound formula is complete, will the other Xian formulas be improved?" After Yang Wu pondered for a while, he confirmed the answer he was thinking of. Once his Regal 9 profound formula was complete, he would definitely be able to deduce other more complete Xian formulas. He told Nangong Shiqin about the Xian formulas that he had deduced. The widow couldn't help but exclaim, "Master, could it be that you are a member of my Nangong family?" Chapter 1273. Yang Wu was obviously not a member of the Nangong family. He only had the Regal 9 profound arts. "Sister Shiqin, what's wrong?" Wu Ximin could not help but ask. Wu Ximin was an average woman with a great figure. Her legs were especially round and slender. They could probably crush a person to death. Nangong Shiqin smiled proudly. "Haha, it's nothing. Lord helped me perfect the profound art. I have hope of breaking through to the Jade Moon realm in the future." What? Everyone was shocked. Perfecting the incantation was an incredible task. "You still have a chance. If you believe me, then tell me the profound art. If you don't believe me, then I won't force you," Yang Wu said indifferently. The rate at which these profound arts could absorb energy from his regal 9 profound arts was becoming smaller and smaller. He needed a higher level profound art or more profound essence energy to increase the rate of absorption. Therefore, he did not desire their profound arts that much. Wu Si-min was the second to pass on the cultivation chant to Yang Wu. Wu Si-min's chant was complete, but it was only at the high-level sage realm. It would be very difficult for her to break through to the peak sage realm. After Yang Wu's deduction, the profound art increased by 1 level, reaching the peak sage realm. Wu Si-min was overjoyed. "Thank you, Lord." Wu Si-min knelt down on one knee and thanked him. When she bent down, her heavy chest was faintly discernible. The scenery was pleasant. Yang Wu seriously looked at her a few more times, but he had to pretend that he did not see her. It was indeed uncomfortable. Ren Xiaofeng, Jin Yuchen, and Jin Yuhao were not as straightforward as the two women. They rejected Yang Wu's good intentions. They had the complete profound art that could help them go further. There was no need for Yang Wu to perfect it. Yang Wu did not blame them. After giving them a few words of advice, he went to find Qiu Long. Qiu Long was a demon god. It could move unhindered on the 3rd floor and could find large amounts of herbs for him at any time. After Yang Wu found him, he brought him to the 5th floor. The profound energy of heaven and earth on every floor was different, and the resources were also different. Qiu Long would be able to improve faster on the 5th floor. Yang Wu also planned to open up some medicine fields on the 5th level and needed Qiu Long to take care of them. After doing all this, he summoned Yu Huaijin back. When this woman came back, she was carrying the corpse of a deity-level beast. She looked like a violent queen, scaring Qiu Long so much that he immediately fled. "Master, I'll treat you to meat," Yu Huaijin said with a fake smile. "Sure," Yang Wu straightforwardly replied. Then he said, "Hurry up and roast it. Remember to roast more. I still have an earth dragon to raise. You should also eat meat." Yu Huaijin was confused. She carried the corpse back because she wanted Yang Wu to roast it for her. She was a goddess. Unfortunately, she was only a maid now. Yang Wu took a lot of divine medicines from her. These divine medicines were all alive and could even speak human language, making them look pitiful. Yang Wu couldn't bear to refine them. However, for the sake of refining spirit pills, he had no choice. He could only harden his heart. In the future, he would become a higher-level alchemist. When he encountered higher-level divine medicines or immortal medicines, he would have to ignore them. Otherwise, it would be difficult to concentrate on refining spirit pills. After Yang Wu ate the roasted meat served by the beautiful Yu Huaijin, he started to refine pills. This time, he didn't refine pills in the inheritance tower because he wanted to personally receive the pill tribulation. He didn't want to be isolated. Using heavenly lightning to refine the body was the fastest shortcut. Yang Wu's great success, Saint Physique, wasn't obtained by Bai Wugu. After a period of learning and cultivation, Yang Wu's ability to control fire became stronger and stronger. His method of refining herbs had the ability to turn something rotten into something magical. It was enough to make many famous divine alchemists feel ashamed of their inferiority. Now, Yang Wu didn't pay attention to speed. He paid more attention to the order of adding herbs. The main herbs went first, and the auxiliary herbs came later. He paid more attention to the control of quantity and strived for perfection in every detail. Yang Wu's soul was in control of the essence of many herbs to prevent them from being lost. Yu Huaijin watched from the side. She really wanted to slap Yang Wu to death. However, she didn't dare to do so. Yang Wu would sense it immediately, and the inheritance tower would kill her. She watched Yang Wu complete the refining process step by step and felt more and more surprised. He became a moon-class disciple of the Medicine God Temple at such a young age. He really has some skills. He isn't any worse than those people called Medicine God's sons. 10,000 years ago, she entered this space to find the inheritance of the Medicine God Temple. All of this was for the Fox Moon clan. The Medicine God Temple was a huge monster in the God realm. It wasn't easy to ask for a pill from them. The Fox Moon clan and the Medicine God Temple didn't have any relationship. They even had bad relations. She accidentally found out that the medicine god temple was interested in the human realm and left behind a place of inheritance. That was why she came here. After Yang Wu finished refining all the herbs, he started to build the fire wheel array. This time, he didn't need to set up the array again. He had already built it on the array stone. He only needed to activate it and pour in fire to activate the fire wheel array. The fire wheel array was a supplementary method to refine demon nuclei. It could save him a lot of energy and make it more stable. Even if he reached the Jade Moon realm in the future, he would still need the help of the fire wheel array. It was an array that could be upgraded continuously. Refining herbs and demon nuclei wasn't too surprising. The real surprise was when he was condensing the pill. He had suffered a lot at this step. If he had the power of the god realm, forcefully condensing the pill wouldn't be a problem. Unfortunately, he hadn't reached that step yet. He could only use tricks to condense the pill. There were some books in the Inheritance Palace that talked about low-level alchemists condensing high-level pills. He had already memorized them. He first used the Tai Chi Dao to pour his power into the cauldron. Then, he poured in his soul power to control the fusion of the cauldron's power. He did the 1 fast and 3 slow steps to successfully condense the pill. The 1 fast referred to the speed of the fusion of the star power. The 3 slow referred to the slow control of the fire, the slow cooling, and the slow condensing of the pill. These 4 steps were all small tricks. If controlled well, it could greatly increase the success rate. Boundless star power fell into the cauldron. There were waves of light surging inside the cauldron. The flow of the fire slowed down, and the temperature slowly cooled down. The lid of the cauldron slowly closed at the last crucial moment. Every step was completed smoothly. Even if there were some flaws, it wouldn't affect the success rate. The pill lightning came as expected. This time, it wasn't 1 wave of lightning, but 2. Yu Huijin looked at the descending lightning and sneered in her heart. Your alchemy ability is not bad. But if you don't let the Inheritance Tower block out the power of the lightning, I'll see how you die. Even though she had submitted to Yang Wu, she still didn't have the slightest respect for Yang Wu in her heart. Big! Yang Wu shouted. His saintly body grew crazily and turned into a giant of 999 feet. He raised his fist and punched the divine thunder. Bang! Bang! A series of explosions rang out as Yang Wu's fists were blasted open by the divine lightning. Even his sparkling and translucent bones could be seen. The heavenly thunderbone absorbed the power of the lightning. The immortal peach tree also absorbed the power of the lightning. The black demon thunder orb also absorbed the power of the lightning. However, after the first wave of lightning, his saint body had shrunk by 1/3. When the second wave of lightning came down, the horrifying power of the lightning was like dragons and snakes. There were also many lightning creatures. They were like soldiers and generals of lightning, bringing with them the power to destroy the world. Yang Wu hadn't even reached the Jade Moon realm. How could he face the attacks of these lightning creatures? They were enough to threaten a mid-level Jade Moon realm elite. Electric Fork, protect me. At this critical moment, Yang Wu had no choice but to use his divine weapon to help him. The divine weapon Electric Fork produced a strong devouring power that swallowed all the thunderbolts from the thunderbolts. Only a little bit of the remaining thunderbolts landed on Yang Wu's body. However, this power turned his saintly body back to its original form. His body was charred black, and his skin and flesh were torn. Many parts of his thunderbone were broken. He was already very lucky to be alive. In the next moment, a jade cauldron appeared in front of Yang Wu. The jade cauldron was filled with medicinal liquid. This was his new divine liquid. He used some thunder god liquid and the great medicine he got from the Saint Do clan to refine it. It had a stronger effect of strengthening the body, opening channels, and healing. The great medicine in the cauldron was very powerful. Yang Wu only used a small portion to refine it with the thunder god liquid. If he used too much, not only would he waste the great medicine, but his body wouldn't be able to withstand it. He barely jumped into the jade cauldron. He endured the fatal pain and used the 9 lightning body tempering technique to refine his body. Yu Huijin's beautiful eyes were filled with surprise. No one knew what she was thinking. She came from the god world, so she was very knowledgeable. She could see that Yang Wu's cauldron of medicinal liquid was extraordinary. When she saw Yang Wu being so cruel to himself, she couldn't help but admire him. You are only at the level 6 star mark realm, but you have already cultivated a great saint body. You really are extraordinary. You are no worse than the god's sons and saints of the big forces. In the divine world, there weren't many great success sage bodies. However, most of the people who had reached the peak of the sage realm would be able to cultivate this great success sage body. Someone like Yang Wu, who had cultivated a great success sage body, was very rare. She was starting to think highly of Yang Wu. If his power can surpass mine in 1,000 years, it won't be too embarrassing for me to follow him. Yu Huijin thought to herself. Yu Huijin thought to herself. Then she thought, if you can't do it, then be my slave. Yang Wu was at the crucial point of refining his body. The voice of the Saint Do clans being sounded. Good boy. You really did steal half of my medicinal liquid. Die. A palm that blotted out the sky slapped toward Yang Wu's position. The power contained in this palm was enough to destroy the heavens and earth, and it also caused Yu Huijin to feel a strong sense of fear. She didn't dare to block it for Yang Wu, and Qiu Long, who was protecting Yang Wu, was so scared that he drilled deeper into the ground. Evil creature, don't you dare hurt my disciple. Chapter 1274. A shocking will condensed into a human figure in front of Yang Wu. It was a hazy shadow, so people couldn't see what he looked like. They could only roughly determine that he was a man who wasn't very tall. His body was a little stooped, and he held a walking stick in one hand. He looked very old, but he was full of immortal qi. He easily wiped out the attack of the Saint Tribe's creature. Moreover, he suppressed the Saint Tribe's creature until his body was bent, and he couldn't move anymore. Lord Immortal Shinnong, the Saint Clan's being and Yu Huijin both exclaimed. Shinnong was once the emperor of the mortal world. In the end, he reached the peak of alchemy and became a great god of the human race. Many places worshipped his statue, especially in the homes of alchemists. Almost all of them worshipped him because he was the one who created alchemy. He was the ancestor of alchemy in the human race. The Medicine God Temple was a place of inheritance left behind by Shinnong in the lower realm. The person who obtained his inheritance was his disciple in the lower realm. Yang Wu unknowingly obtained this inheritance, which made him Shinnong's disciple. Yang Wu stared blankly at the figure that appeared in front of him. He said in a daze, I have another cheap master. Previously, when he was in the mortal world, his master Hao Run had also mysteriously appeared and forcefully took him in as a disciple. This time, Shinnong had also mysteriously appeared and said that he was his disciple. Yang Wu's brain wasn't enough to process it. Hee, little guy, you're still only an in-name disciple of this Lord Immortal. If you want to become this Lord Immortal's disciple, you still need to work hard. I have high hopes for you, the figure said with a hint of mischief. Then, he looked at the Saint Clan's being and shouted, Do Yin, I left you behind to be this Lord Immortal's disciple's guardian. Since you don't know what's good for you, this Lord Immortal will cripple you. Huh? You want to suppress me with mere willpower? Impossible. The being from the Saint Do clan called Do Yin laughed maniacally and began to run wildly. He wasn't trying to escape. Instead, he took the initiative to rush toward Shinnong. Yu Huijin saw him do this and felt a sense of admiration. As expected of the fearless Saint Do tribe, Do Yin's aura was rising steadily. His aura swept through the sky like a bull. It was as if a demon had descended. He blasted out a golden flame fist. The fist was like an erupting volcano that could destroy the world. When Yang Wu saw this scene, he only felt how small and insignificant he was. If he was hit, he would definitely die. So strong. A strand of my will is enough to suppress you for 1,000,000 years. Shinnong's phantom responded faintly, and the cane in his hand gently pointed out. A sparkling light collided with the golden flame fist, and the giant's golden flame fist actually exploded inch by inch. Puff! The power of Do Yan's fist was broken, and there was a rebounding force. He flew backward and spat out blood. Tower, come here, the shadow of Shinnong said faintly and waved at the inheritance tower. The inheritance tower flew away from where it was and flew towards him. He then pointed at Do Yin, and the inheritance tower pressed down on Do Yin. "Go away, I don't accept this." Do Yin's fighting spirit soared to the sky as he roared. His body kept rising, and his fists madly blasted at the inheritance tower. Bang! Bang! Every punch that was powerful enough to break space landed on the inheritance tower, but the tower still pressed down mercilessly. Do Yin kept screaming, but unfortunately, he still couldn't change the fact that he was being suppressed. "Shen Nong, I will never let you go." Do Yin's voice echoed. "When you are willing to be my disciple's guardian, I will let you go," the shadow of Shen Nong's phantom said faintly. Then, he looked at Yu Huaijin. Yu Huaijin quickly bowed and said, "Greetings, Medicine Celestial Master. Little girl from the Fox Moon clan, forget about it. Are you willing to be my disciple's guardian?" Shen Nong's phantom asked very kindly. Yu Huaijin said without hesitation, "I am already his guardian. As long as he can reach the realm of the gods, you will be rewarded," the shadow of Shen Nong's phantom said with satisfaction. Then, he waved his hand at the inheritance tower, and the tower quickly shrank and fell into his palm. Then, he said to Yang Wu, "I will leave the inheritance tower to you. When Do Yin is willing to submit, you can let him out. However, he is very cunning, so don't believe his words easily. If you let him go and get killed by him, you will only have yourself to blame." Yang Wu took the inheritance tower respectfully and said, "Thank you, Celestial Master. Cultivate well and walk the path of alchemy well. Contribute more to the human race and leave behind some inheritance for my Shen Nong lineage." After saying that, Shen Nong's phantom quietly disappeared from this world. Yang Wu was stunned on the spot. After a while, he came back to his senses and sighed, "I am still too weak. If Shen Nong didn't appear, he would have died here today. Kid, let me out quickly. Otherwise, when I am free, I will make you wish you were dead," Do Yin shouted in the inheritance tower. Yang Wu looked at Do Yin, who was in the inheritance tower, and smiled. "You're already being suppressed, yet you're still making me suffer a fate worse than death. You should just stay in there. When I'm stronger than you, I'll make you suffer a fate worse than death." With that, he threw the inheritance tower out and let it suppress the world again. He was still weak and couldn't make the inheritance tower completely recognize him as its master. There was no need to keep it by his side. He would wait until he was strong enough. Yang Wu walked back into the jade cauldron to refine his body. He was interrupted by Do Yin before he finished, which wasted a lot of his time. Yu Huaijin walked over and said gently, "Master, I will serve you." Yang Wu walked out of the jade cauldron and said, "Okay, suppress the Saint Realm and spar with me." After being interrupted by Do Yin, his body had recovered from his injuries. He couldn't take advantage of his injuries to refine his body. Yu Huaijin's invitation gave him a new idea. What could be more effective than sparring with a strong opponent? "Are you sure? I'm afraid of hurting you," Yu Huaijin said. What awaited her response was Yang Wu's extremely fast fist. It was like a dragon, and it arrived in front of her in the blink of an eye. Her eyes constricted and her body shrank back. She retreated, and he entered. The dragon's head was high, and its body was straight. Its aura was shocking. "Fight!" Yang Wu shouted. "Okay." Yu Huaijin agreed directly. She didn't hold back and started to spar with Yang Wu. She suppressed her cultivation and only fought with Yang Wu as a mid-tier saint demon. She was much stronger than Yang Wu. Even if she suppressed her cultivation, her reaction speed and battle experience had an advantage. It was enough to suppress Yang Wu. Unfortunately, when she borrowed Yang Wu's fist, she realized that she had underestimated Yang Wu. At times, Yang Wu would transform into a true dragon, and at other times, he would transform into a black tortoise. He unleashed one punch after another, boldly charging forward. His domineering aura was filled with invincibility. "You are so young, but you have already condensed invincible intent. You are not inferior to those monsters. But I, Yu Huaijin, am not inferior to them either." Yu Huaijin felt Yang Wu's aura and began to erupt. Behind her, A bright moon rose into the sky, and a fox demon cried out in shock. Both of her hands transformed into 49 clones, all of which charged at Yang Wu at the same time. Fox Moon Clone Technique. This doppelganger technique was so real that it was hard to tell which one was the real body. In fact, every doppelganger launched an attack with the same terrifying power. It tore through the air and space and landed on Yang Wu's body. Black tortoise armor. Yang Wu was as still as a mountain. He deflected the opponent's attack and kicked out with his legs. He didn't care if the opponent was the real body or a clone. They were all in the range of the kick. Wind God Kicks Wind Blade Storm. The sudden storm turned into sharp wind blades and shattered many of Yu Huijin's clones. Yu Huijin's clone technique was broken. Her real body appeared next to Yang Wu. She crushed Yang Wu's wind blades with one claw and clawed at Yang Wu's armor. A sharp claw energy cut open Yang Wu's armor. Just as she was about to injure Yang Wu's Barbaric God arm came over. Bang! Yang Wu's counterattack was too fast. Yu Huijin's shoulder was swept. She was also powerful. She endured the pain and kicked at Yang Wu. A hidden force broke through Yang Wu's defense and sent Yang Wu flying. You're too weak at the same level. Yang Wu took a few steps back and rushed toward Yu Huijin again. The way of the black tortoise. Yang Wu seemed to have turned into a black tortoise. He rushed toward Yu Huijin. That domineering momentum forced Yu Huijin to retreat again and again. Yang Wu's arms were filled with boundless power. There was also a divine burial chi that devoured Yu Huijin's life force. Every sweep of his arms manifested a waterfall that was unstoppable. Yu Huijin could only keep defending. However, Yang Wu's attacks were getting faster and faster. She was hit a few times in a row. Her delicate face was burning uncomfortably. She thought to herself, how can I lose at the same level? Moon's shadow was like a blade. Path of Illusory Moon. Yu Huijin specialized in speed and illusion techniques. She turned into a series of afterimages and dodged Yang Wu's attacks. She also sent out a series of moon slashes. 81 moon slashes formed a small world and crazily attacked Yang Wu. This was her true strength. A mid-Saint Realm expert could fight a peak Saint Realm expert. Yang Wu and Yu Huijin fought fiercely. Yang Wu still had the advantage. You should increase your strength. You're not my opponent like this. Yang Wu said to Yu Huijin. You dare to look down on me. Yu Huijin responded with dissatisfaction. Her speed increased again. Fox Moon Extreme Speed. Yu Huijin was everywhere. It was impossible for Yang Wu to guard against her. She tore through his defenses and left bloody marks on Yang Wu's body. So fast, Yang Wu exclaimed. He also began to increase his speed. The speed of Wind God's leg was not inferior to that of a martial artist who cultivated wind profound chi, so he was able to match Yu Huijin's speed. Yang Wu's strength increased little by little. He once again suppressed Yu Huijin. Yu Huijin had no choice but to increase her realm to High Saint Realm. Defeat you. Chapter 1275. Yang Wu felt as if he had returned to the days when he was cultivating in the God of War pagoda and fighting with powerful opponents. Yu Huijin was very powerful. It seemed fair for her to suppress her level to fight Yang Wu, but in reality, it was not so. Her God-level physical body was very strong, and her God-level reflexes were very agile. It was already very impressive that Yang Wu could force her to the high-level saint level to fight him. At this point, Yang Wu's battle prowess was comparable to a half-step into the Heaven Ascension realm, or even an ordinary Heaven Ascension realm cultivator. He continued to force Yu Huijin to increase her battle prowess. She was almost as strong as a top-tier saint before she was able to suppress Yang Wu. Yang Wu was beaten until he was covered in wounds and exhausted all his energy before he stopped. Yang Wu returned to the Jade Cauldron to temper his physical body. After absorbing the medicinal properties, his physical body recovered once again. Moreover, he received a new round of improvement. Even if the improvement was not obvious, it still helped his strength increase by a lot. This was a cauldron of medicine. He wanted to improve his saint body further and break through the range of 990 feet to reach more than 300 feet. Don't underestimate this difference. It was a bottleneck to break through. After Yang Wu was completely healed, he challenged Yu Huaijin again. He fought until he was exhausted and covered in wounds. After a series of fights, he refined pills again and attracted divine lightning to refine his body. He soaked in the medicine and did this repeatedly. His cultivation level quietly reached the peak of the 6th level of the star pattern realm. He was only one step away from the 7th level of the star pattern realm. His saint body was only one step away from reaching 300 feet. Yu Huaijin was shocked every time she fought with Yang Wu. In the end, she was numb to it. Yang Wu's improvement was too fast. She used the power of a top-tier saint to suppress Yang Wu. If her real cultivation level was that of a top-tier saint, she would definitely be killed by Yang Wu. Is this guy really from the lower world? Yu Huaijin asked doubtfully. Even the ancient prodigies in the god world were not that strong. Although he wasn't as strong as those top-tier prodigies, he wasn't that far off. Moreover, he was a moon-class alchemist. While Yang Wu was desperately cultivating, Ren Xiaofeng, Nangong Shiqin, Jin Yuqin, Jin Yuhao, Wu Simin, and the others had also stepped into the 4th layer of the ascetic cultivation. After receiving the medicinal liquid and inferior immortal liquid bestowed by Yang Wu, they had the capital to squander it. Their physical strength had increased by a large margin, and their combat strength had increased by a lot. This was especially true for Ren Xiaofeng, Jin Yuqin, and Jin Yuhao, who had each advanced by a level. Ren Xiaofeng had already reached the peak of the 10th level of the Star Rune realm. During this period of time, he had taken a step forward and reached the 11th level of the Star Rune realm. Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao were both in the top 100 of the Heavenly Dragon ranking. Their talents were amazing, so it was normal for them to reach the 3-star rune realm. After Nangong Shiqin obtained Yang Wu's perfected profound formula, her cultivation speed had also increased by a lot. She believed that she would be able to break through very soon. After another 2 months, Yang Wu finally broke through the limit and reached the 300-meter Great Success Saint Body. His strength had increased tremendously, forcing Yu Huaijin to use the power of the peak of the Saint Realm to fight with him. Moreover, it was only a draw. Young master is getting more and more courageous the more you fight. Yu Huaijin had some admiration for Yang Wu. She had also changed the way she addressed Yang Wu. Yang Wu was also very satisfied with his cultivation during this period of time. He smiled and said, "It's time to leave this place so that my family won't be worried." "Young master, can you bring me along?" Yu Huaijin asked with a longing expression. She had been suppressed for 10,000 years, so she also wanted to see the outside world. She also wanted to see what the human world was like. "As long as you don't play any tricks, it's not a problem." Yang Wu nodded and said. During this period of time, he had seen the changes in Yu Huaijin. If she really wanted to protect him for 1,000 years, he wouldn't mind bringing her out. Moreover, there were many people who wanted to kill him. Although he already had the combat strength of a God Realm expert, it would be safer to have one more person to protect him. He didn't dare to underestimate the experts of the major factions. "Don't worry, I'll be your training partner for the next 1,000 years. Who knows, maybe you'll surpass me in the next 1,000 years. When that time comes, I'll warm your bed for you," Yu Huaijin said flirtatiously. She was so charming that Yang Wu could feel his nose bleed at any time. Fortunately, he had become immune to it during this period of time. Yang Wu left as soon as he said he would. He called Ren Xiaofeng, Nangong Shiqin, Jin Yuqin, and the others over and took them with him. Yang Wu had the token, so he could communicate with the Inheritance Tower at any time to teleport him. As long as he was in the human world, no matter where he was, as long as he poured his spiritual energy into the token, he could return to this space. The Inheritance Tower could also teleport him to any place in the Transcendent Realm. The Inheritance Tower was also an extraordinary teleportation device. Yang Wu brought everyone to Ding City first. Yang Wu and the others quickly entered the Apothecary Union. With their current strength, it was very easy for them to not be discovered. When Yang Wu returned to the Apothecary Union, it immediately caused a huge commotion. Many people thought that Yang Wu had died. Who would have thought that he would return half a year later? Before Yang Wu could return to his residence, Chao Jifei and Miao Miao rushed over from different directions. Yang Wu, something happened to your Yang family. Chao Jifei couldn't wait to tell Yang Wu. Seeing Chao Jifei's nervous expression, Yang Wu's heart skipped a beat. He asked her what happened. 3 days ago, the Xing family attacked your Yang family. We just received the news. Chao Jifei tried to keep it short. Bastards, they actually ignored the battle race's rules? I will definitely make them regret it. Yang Wu said angrily. Boss, don't worry. The Xing family came prepared this time. They want to destroy your Yang family. You shouldn't go back now. You should wait in the alliance. As long as there's life, there's no need to fear. Miao Miao persuaded. Before he could finish, Yang Wu interrupted him and shouted, I will not rest until the Xing family is dead. In the next moment, Yang Wu returned to his residence. He called Wang Daha and Huang Xiaohe and left with them. Chao Jifei and Miao Miao wanted to stop them, but it was too late. Big senior sister, we shouldn't have told boss about this. Miao Miao said with a drooping face. If we don't tell him, he will only hate us in the future. He is a man who values relationships and is very strong. Nothing will happen to him. Chao Jifei's beautiful eyes flashed with a complicated look. She paused and muttered, If Yang Wu dies and I inherit the position of master in the future, I will definitely destroy the Xing family to avenge him. Miao Miao looked at Chao Jifei and felt that if this really happened, perhaps she would become incomparably crazy. Yang Wu returned to the Medicine God Palace again and called Yu Huijin and Di Long over. I need you to do something for me. Yang Wu expressed his attitude without hesitation. Young master, please give us your orders. Yu Huijin and Di Long replied at the same time. You will know very soon. Yang Wu replied and quickly used the inheritance tower to teleport him to the Martial Marquis gang's territory, which was where the Thunder Heaven Gate was. He needed the power there to help him. Since the Xing family wanted to destroy the Yang family, they wouldn't just test them like a few years ago. They would definitely go all out and destroy the Yang family in one fell swoop. War Race Realm. The Xing family gathered an army of 500,000 and used a total of 10 ancient warships to attack the Yang family. The Xing family army came too suddenly, and the Yang family didn't even receive any news. When the Xing family people appeared, they launched a fierce attack on the Yang family's territory. This time, the Xing family was determined to destroy the Yang family. The Yang family's subordinate forces couldn't stop the Xing family suppression at all. They surrendered and were killed. Before the Yang family's reinforcements arrived, more than half of the Yang family's territory was taken over. In 3 days' time, the Xing family's army arrived outside the Yang family's city and surrounded the Yang family. In the past few years, the Yang family had improved a lot. A group of experts had appeared, and they had also recruited a group of saints. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough people to fight. The Yang family went all out, and they only sent 200,000 people to stop the Xing family. The Xing family's army destroyed the Yang family's city as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. They didn't bother to reason with the Yang family. The Yang family suffered countless casualties, and the Yang family's city was in danger. The Yang family's grandmother, Gong Salan, and Duan Run were the two heaven-piercing realm experts guarding the Yang family. Especially Gong Salan. She was the stabilizing force of the Yang family. As long as she was in the Yang family, she would be able to protect the Yang family from destruction. Unfortunately, the Xing family didn't give her a chance to escape. They wanted to kill her as well. The Xing family's heaven-piercing realm experts forced Gong Salan and Duan Run to leave the Yang family's territory to fight with them. Otherwise, the Xing family's strength would be enough to destroy the Yang family. After Gong Salan and Duan Run were lured away, how could the Yang family resist the Xing family? The Xing family left behind 5 half-step heaven-piercing realm experts and 81 saints to destroy the Yang family. Such a terrifying force showed the strength of the war race's world. The Yang family was also going all out. Yang Taihe, who had recently returned, led more than 30 saints from the Yang family. In addition to the 30 saints recruited from outside, there were less than 70 saints in total. However, the Yang family didn't have any half-step heaven-piercing realm experts. 800 years ago, their foundation was already exhausted. They didn't have enough people to support them. The strongest person was an old tortoise that rarely appeared. He was at the peak of the Bee Saint realm and had the strength of a half-step heaven-piercing realm expert. The second strongest person wasn't Yang Taiha. Instead, it was an old fart from the Azure Heaven bloodline. He was at the 12th level of the Star Rune realm. He was the kind of person whose vitality was on the verge of exhaustion. He only appeared when the Yang family was in trouble. The third strongest person was Yang Taiha. Since his resurrection, he had shown a rapid improvement. He had already reached the 11th level of the Star Rune realm. With the ancestral spear, he could fight half-step heaven-piercing realm experts. The fourth strongest person was the Yang family's legend, Yu Chang'an. He was a sword genius and had silently stepped into the 11th level of the Star Rune realm. Chapter 1276. In the territory of the Yang family, dark clouds covered the sky and a strong wind blew. A rainstorm could come any time. Densely packed figures surrounded the city. Their imposing auras filled the air. Many powerful cultivators attracted the power of the stars, causing strange phenomena to appear one after another. It was an extremely shocking scene. The people in the city were panicking. They were afraid that the formation would be broken and they would be at the mercy of the enemy. The two armies faced each other. The Xing family already had the upper hand. Did the Yang family still have a chance to win? An old tortoise was lying outside the city. It looked at the 5 half-step Tongtian realm cultivators of the Xing family. It did not show any sign of retreating. Beside the old tortoise were sages. They were the vanguard. If the enemy wanted to break the city, they would have to step over their dead bodies. The Xing family ignored the rules of the battle tribe and attacked the Yang family. The rules had been broken. What is the point of the battle tribe? Today, even if we have to fight to the death, we will make the Xing family pay the price. A level 12-star Rune Realm Saint from the Azure family said in a hoarse voice. His name was Yang Luosen. He was from the same era as Yang Hanlin. The danger of the Yang family was not only in the city, but also in the world of battles. As a result, the Black Tortoise Army and the Green Dragon Army could not come back to help. Your Yang clan should have been wiped out 800 years ago. It's already a great blessing that you're still alive. Surrender now, and you might still have a chance to live. If you don't, we'll massacre the entire city. The leader of the Xing clan, who was riding on a mighty fire lion, announced, My Yang family's ancestors have built the Black Tortoise Army and the Azure Dragon Army, annihilated the Devil race, beheaded the ominous beasts, and raised the prestige of the War race. We have established a name for the human race for 1,000 years. Today, you have annihilated the human race, a meritorious deed against the heavens. You will be punished by the heavens in the future. The Xing family will be punished by the heavens. The sages shouted in unison. Thunder roared and lightning flashed. The rain poured down. The spiritual energy of the Yang family members gathered together and took the initiative to attack. The Yang family had no way out. If they did not fight, they would die. They might as well take the initiative to fight and kill as many as they could. Uncle Sun Luo, take the Dragon Phoenix pill. Yang Taiha did not forget to send a message to Yang Luosen. Since the Yang family had the Dragon Phoenix pill to auction, they would naturally keep it for their own family members. Gong Silan had one, Yang Luosen had one, Yang Taiha and Yu Chang and had one each. The other sages of the Yang clan each had a star pattern pill. Some had already taken it, while some had only started taking it now. With the impending battle, increasing their cultivation by a little bit would increase their chances of survival. Don't worry, I don't want to die so soon. I want to take 1 or 2 heads of the Xing clan's half-step Tongtian before I die, Yang Luosen replied. Yang Luosen, Yang Luo. The cries of dragons and phoenixes could be heard from his body. The power of a constellation converged towards him. The dragon and phoenix intertwined as they tried to break through to a higher level. Slaughter everyone from the Yang clan. An expert from the Xing clan ordered. An earth-shattering power flew out, and the starlight that filled the sky came through the storm. Yang Taiha had also refined the Dragon Phoenix pill in his mouth. He turned into a real dragon and flew into the rain. The inverse dragon spear in his hand pierced through the sky. Yu Chang, and surname was not Yang, but his mother's surname was Yang. He promised his mother that he would protect the family. He would not go back on his words. Mother, don't worry. With me around, the Yang family will be around. Yu Chang murmured. He raised his sword and flew up into the sky step by step. The black tortoise sword Dao appeared. Those who struggle are the most pitiful. After today, there will be no more Yang family. The Xing family was in high spirits. They would not be affected by a few words from the Yang family. Times were changing. There would be prosperity and decline. After this battle, the Xing family would be stronger. The Yang family would be their stepping stone. The battle between the sages was earth-shattering. Everyone in the city felt the commotion outside. Their faces turned pale. Does the Yang family still have a chance of winning this battle? Damn the Xing family. Why do they want to kill us all? When the Yang family was strong, we never bullied the weak. We also did not have any bad blood with the Xing family. They bullied us time and time again. They are too despicable. If I don't die today, I will make sure the Xing family will not be able to rest in peace. The Yang family has been through so many disasters. We just started to improve in recent years, but the Xing family can't wait to destroy us. Damn it. If I had cultivated hard earlier, I would have been able to join the battle. I regret it. People would only reflect on their own shortcomings when they were faced with a life and death situation. What was the use of regretting it now? The Yang family sages were in tears as they watched the Yang family sages being killed. Those sages had their great-grandfathers and their teachers. They were all respected by the Yang family. But today, they were all going to die in battle. The old tortoise, as the Yang family's hidden stabilizing force, charged towards the half-step heavenly arrival expert with a barbaric attitude. The Xing family's half-step ascension realm expert gathered the power of sun and smashed it towards the old turtle. Surrender, old turtle. Be the Xing family's guardian spirit demon, and we will spare your life. The big turtle hit the mountain. The old turtle smashed the sun. In another direction, a fire sword tens of thousands of feet long slashed through the air, leaving a sword mark on the old turtle's back. A voice rang out. Those who don't surrender will be killed. I will only protect the Yang family for the rest of my life. The old turtle roared, and countless waves of water formed a fist that rushed toward the two half-step heavenly arrival experts who were besieging him. The old turtle was a peak demon saint, but its strength was no less than that of a half-step ascension realm expert. It could restrain the two half-step ascension realm experts. On the other side, after Yang Luosin activated the power of the Dragon Phoenix elixir, his aura rose steadily. His depleted blood chi was replenished. His strength soared to the peak of the Saint realm, and he was approaching the half-step ascension realm. The Xing family's experts would not give him such a chance. A sword light slashed down from the sky, breaking through space and landing on Yang Luosin's head. It was a half-step ascension realm expert's attack. Kill! Yang Luosin seemed to have returned to his hot-blooded youth. After shouting, he raised a shield to block the attack. It was a divine shield, one of the divine treasures Yang Wu took out from the Dragon Phoenix abyss. After blocking the attack, the cyan sword in his hand slashed out a boundless sword chi, sweeping towards the half-step ascension realm expert. It was also a divine sword weapon with boundless power. Tianqing's sword, the ancestral weapon of the Yang family's Tianqing branch. The half-step ascension realm expert was shocked. He quickly dodged, but the sword took away a large piece of flesh from his body. After the pain, the half-step ascension realm expert roared. You're not the only one with a divine weapon. The Xing family came prepared. Naturally, they would bring equipment. The half-step ascension realm expert changed his weapon to a divine sword and fought Yang Luosin. Yang Taihe, you're dead today. Xing Mingyang charged towards Yang Taihe with his fire wheel. Beside him, Xing Laoyang also joined in. He had a fire dragon shield, and the power of the fire dragon was earth-shattering. Yang Taihe didn't waste time talking nonsense with Xing Mingyang. He raised his spear and charged forward. The true dragon collided with Xing Mingyang's fire wheel, forcing it back. Before Xing Mingyang could react, he was smashed by his own fire wheel. He spat out blood and flew backwards. Yang Taihe had advanced too quickly. He didn't expect the gap between them to be so huge. Yang Taihe swept his spear again, hitting the fire dragon's shield beside him. He deflected the shield and took the opportunity to stab at Xing Laoyang's heart. Die! Yang Taihe was filled with intense, killing intent. He had to finish off his opponent in the shortest time possible before helping the others. Xing Laoyang raised a shield to block the attack, but the shield was shattered as well. His arm exploded, causing him to scream in pain. Seeing that he was about to be killed, a half-step Ascension Realm expert from the Xing family charged over. He held a fire axe in his hand and slashed at the back of Yang Taihe's head. Yang Taihe's aura was flourishing. As it rose, he struck back with his spear, blocking the fire axe. However, he was also forced back. Come! Yang Taihe was refining the Dragon Phoenix pill. Instead of retreating, he advanced. He roared and started fighting with the half-step Ascension Realm expert. He wanted to use the pressure of the half-step Ascension Realm expert to completely refine the effects of the Dragon Phoenix pill. Not only did he want to reach the 12th level of astral veins, but he also wanted to reach the half-step Ascension Realm. The effects of the Dragon Phoenix pill were very overbearing. It could help Yue increase her cultivation level by 1 or 2 levels. As a top-tier saint, he would naturally be able to jump levels after consuming it. Yang Taihe's power increased from the 11th level to the 12th level in a short while. The violent energy was still surging. He needed to fight to his heart's content. This battle determined the life and death of his family. He couldn't afford to worry too much. The half-step Empyrean Ascension, who was battling Yang Taihe, became more and more alarmed as the battle went on. In the beginning, he was still able to suppress Yang Taihe, but when Yang Taihe rose to the 12th level of the Astral Rune Realm, he was forced to retreat repeatedly, causing him to be extremely astonished. You've eaten a pill to increase your strength. There must be a time limit. Once the time is up, I'll kill you. The half-step Ascension Realm expert thought so. He didn't want to fight Yang Taihe head-on. Instead, he wanted to use up the effects of Yang Taihe's pill and kill him in one fell swoop. Yang Taihe was already in a killing frenzy. How could he allow his opponent to stall for time? Roar! A dragon's roar rang out. It was as if a real dragon was charging at the half-step Ascension Realm expert. His eardrums were ruptured and bleeding. At the same time, his aura was suppressed. Yang Taihe seemed to have become a barbaric dragon as he charged at him. The half-step Ascension Realm expert endured the pain and gathered boundless firepower to attack Yang Taihe. Do you think I'm afraid of you? The half-step Ascension Realm expert had touched upon half of the Ascension Realm's power. Naturally, he wouldn't back down so easily. His fire axe carried torrential firepower as it hacked down furiously. It was as if he wanted to split heaven and earth in half. Longer, fight me. Yang Taihe thought of his lover. The dragon blood in his body was boiling. A layer of dragon scales appeared on his arm. Dragon-shaped battle chi and black tortoise battle chi erupted at the same time, thrusting out a stunning spear. The axe flew and exploded.